Now
Taz, and he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. Lina, do you want any help? Oh no, she will flash. Oh, the shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. The amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Day 3, the start of the playoffs for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Here in Hanover, Germany, we've got an exciting quarterfinals lined up for you guys. A continental clash as two American teams face off first, following with the Europeans battling it out. And now I'm going to turn it over to Demon, and let's take a look at the journey to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, to begin with, CLG, they're going to be in the quarterfinals against Team Curse, and CLG had somewhat of a difficult time coming into this one. They started off, they basically started with a loss, which is not a great way to start straight away. They lost out to Dignitas, who will be in the semi-finals tomorrow. But to begin with, they were straight away against the pressure. We're going to have the table up in a moment, but then they just went on a completely unbeatable streak. 4-1-0 in the group. They were looking so strong, and we can see on the table that it was such a hard battle. I mean, to lose your first game, the very first game of the event, you can see that they did obviously come out second with the exact same score of Dignitas, but it was Dignitas that lost to. Dignitas then went to lose to Fnatic in that game, in probably one of the best games of the event. Team Curse, on the other hand, coming through from Group B, well, they've had a twisty-turny event, because immediately, the very first day, there was a help thread going out. So, our player has not made it to the plane. He is late. He has missed it. We need a substitute quickly. And then just the call for help went out, and a German player answered. So immediately, within an hour before the starting, they actually met this guy. So it's just an incredible story for those guys. And they then went to beat Team Solo Mid in their very first game of the day. So we've had some incredible first games. So I'm hoping that this game will be phenomenal. So Group B, if you look at it, it actually broke down pretty incredibly. Moscow 5 top in the group. They were so strong. We'll have it in a second, but they were unbeatable. They're going to be in the semi-finals as well. This is going to be tomorrow, the semi-finals. We're going to find out who will be joining them. The winner of CLG versus Curse will be facing off against Moscow 5. So immediately that's going to be a tough job for them. Team Solo Mid, however, one of the, I guess you could say, team tournament favorites, actually got knocked out of the tournament early on yesterday as well, which is a bit of an upset, certainly for a lot of their fans out there. Obviously, Team Curse beating them to start with, it suddenly knocked their confidence. They went straight down. Second in the group as well. Hopefully we'll have it in a moment. I'm just trying to work around that one, but it was just a big day yesterday. There were so many good games, and that's what you get from the World Championships as well. You get these top teams throughout, solid top games. SK Gaming were looking very strong throughout, and obviously they're going in. We're going to see them later on today against All Authority, which will be on, which came through from Group A. Just waiting for the graphic. Oh, wait. They're keeping me hanging. Hey, there we go. So, yeah, there we go. So Moscow 5, unbeatable yesterday, and continuing their streak from IEM Kiev. They were not beaten in Kiev whatsoever. They dropped one game in the entire series. They've not dropped a game at all. They've just carried on their form from Kiev just a couple of months ago. SK Gaming, they're going to be in the quarterfinals later on today. They're against All Authorities. Myself and Joe will be covering that one. Curse Gaming, though, against CLG, you can see 2 and 3. It was a very tight third place finish, but obviously that win over Solo Mid early in the morning meant they did manage to take that third place. EHOM, however, did beat them in the final game. They weren't quite aware that they were through yet. They was just like the pressure along, but they realized if TSM lose, which they had an inkling of a feeling that they would, they might be safe. But they were playing the games at the same time. They had no idea this was happening. So the stage lays out that obviously CLG, you know, coming into this one as probably one of the biggest teams in League of Legends. I think it's fair to say that, with their new fancy lineups as well. They've had a little change around, but the hidden thing is that the players have switched across. So Doublelift used to play for Curse, now plays for CLG. Elements used to play for CLG, now plays for Curse. So there's a bit of a history between these two teams.
All right, well, we're definitely excited to see what's to come, and make sure you guys stay tuned because we have an amazing raffle coming up with cool prizes, and after that we'll have the Intel Friday night game for the ESL Pro Series for StarCraft as well as League of Legends. And make sure to check out beta.esl.tv. It's ESL TV's brand new website for cool content. And right now, let's go ahead and toss to our casters, Rivington and Freak.
Hey everybody, welcome to the commentary booth. I'm David Freak Turley, joined here with Rivington III.
Indeed.
Bisland III. And it's such a great name, by the way. I do love your name. Together we are, of course, Turlington or some of these other amazing duo names you can put together. What was yours and Xenon's?
Zennington the Casting Yeti.
And
we've actually been put as myself as Nunu and Zennington as Willem. Or I guess that'd be Xenon as Willem the Yeti. So it actually looks quite cool.
Nice. You can see here Team Curse up on the screen. Now jacking just off the screen. There's Cop right there. And you can see in the middle Sidco's now actually here this time around on the far right. Elements and then Crumbs between Sidco and Elements. And so again, we sort of talked about how Elements was recently, well, not really recently anymore, but was on Counterlogic Gaming's roster a few months back. And that team shot right there would have actually had double lift for them. And he's now over on CLG. So that's always going to be kind of interesting. And one of the best parts is, of course, they're going to be fighting against each other at bottom lane. And they've actually done a couple of swaps there. Now you can see Counterlogic Gaming up on the screen. Far right-hand side, that is St. Vicious. There's Big Fat LP. And then over there, as I look down on the monitor, we've got, there is Double Lift himself. There's Chastor, and then Hotshot GG over on the far left, waving to the camera. He's a solo top player. And actually, he's been Aurelia, I think, 3 of the 5 games so far for Counterlogic Gaming. So Aurelia's been a very common pick there for that team. And I think, similarly, one of the other American teams, Team Solo Mid, had taken Aurelia 3 of their 5 games as well. But, you know, we're going to get the players onto the stage and find out what these picks are. So head over to the stage, and we'll be right back.
All right, you guys ready to start off the quarterfinals? Let's bring up on stage CLG and Curse.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me here is Hotshot GG from CLG and Elements from Team Curse. Immediately, it feels a little strange saying that, separating you two guys. But firstly, we're going to start with you. You had a pretty tense first day, a pretty tense first match. Things didn't go so well at the start, but they ended up very well for you guys. I mean, how do you think your first day went?
I think our first day overall went really, really well. You know, Dignitas is a really good team, and we played really close with them. And both teams made it go back and forth, so it was just a really good day. And we ended the group 4-1, and Dig ended the group 4-1, so it was really close.
Yeah, and obviously for yourself, your day started off spectacularly. You had a substitute player come in, turned up an hour before, and played brilliantly. I mean, you couldn't have hoped for more.
Yeah, it was a perfect setup and perfect situation that worked out really well.
And obviously Sidco is here today. He did manage to arrive yesterday. I think it was before the last 2 games. I think he turned up. Do you feel there's a bit of pressure on him now?
Maybe a little. Well, yeah, the sub did really well, so I guess he's got big shoes to fill.
And Hotshot, obviously, you've got Double Lift playing for you now. Used to be from Team Curse. Obviously settled in well now. You guys have been over into Korea. You had a 2nd place in Korea. You've got another Korean tournament coming up. I mean, do you guys feel like you're fully settled in now? You've practiced scrims offline. It's all been busy. You had a really good boot camp before this?
Yeah, initially when Double Lift came on the team, it was like having a new member on our team that we hadn't played with for like a whole year. Like we had Elements, so it was kind of an odd fit at first, but now we're ready and we're practiced and we're ready to go.
And previous tournaments, there's always been questions about Big Fat LP, but I feel he's been playing really well this tournament. I mean, you happy with that?
From the statistics, I think he had like the highest KDA out of all the AP mids, so he's been playing well, and he's been doing good, so I wish him the best.
Answering those critics, and obviously you guys have both been playing Mundo a lot. It's something that European players don't sort of get quite now. When I was talking to Alex from Moscow 5, he actually feared Team Curse, and rightly so, because you took them all the way. I mean, because they said, you know, they actually play a fairly similar style to us. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, they talked about the same sort of champions, etc. Do you think you're going to have something over CLG from that point of view?
I guess so.
Oh, it's very tight-lipped here, I tell you. Brilliant tension. But anything you guys would like to say out to your fans? Obviously, you've got your new site. You're rocking these new T-shirts as well, you know. In fact, both of you guys have new sites. This is all well prepared for Hanover, obviously. You guys want to talk to your fans out there?
Say that again, sorry?
Anything you'd like to say to your fans? I mean, you got plenty of them.
Yeah. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for checking out our streams. You know, you made the league possible. You made League what it is today, so thank you.
And the same to you, Elements. Obviously, you've got a lot of fans out there. New site going on the go. It's all going well for you guys.
Yeah, again, same thing. Thanks for everyone who supports Curse. Thanks for everyone who's backing us. Thanks for Alienware and TeamSpeak for sponsoring us and making it able for us to come here. And again, thanks to everyone for showing the support.
Okay, without further ado, let's get this game going. So it is going to be Team Solo Mid. Team Solo Mid? Unfortunately not. Team CLG Gaming versus Team Curse. It's going to be Freakin' Rivington bringing you the action for this one. Over to you guys.
And welcome back to the casting booth. Guys, this is the IEM World Championship here in Hanover, so make sure you are on that Twitter, #IEM. Let's get the World Championship trending around the world. Let's get that going. Myself, Rivington III, and Freak on the mic for this matchup. The NA team's about to go head-to-head. It's kind of going to work out nicely because you'll have, I believe, Joe Miller and D-Man later for your EU game, so that'll be a nice little touch there. We're going to get these games going underway, and as they said, you know, it was a great point out there. The Mundo on the NA teams in the jungle is very strong, and we've been seeing that being played by St. Vicious quite a bit, and the summoner spells are a little bit different, always running Exhaust, which really allows you to get into that lane. Most of your lanes are going to have Exhaust already, so you can get that person to flash out right away, really get an advantage over your lane, come back and gank a little bit later. We've been seeing Saint do that a lot to control the early part of the game, but Curse has been having great late games. Not something you really want to allow the game to get into, but it is where they have been strongest, so we'll have to see how they go with that.
Yeah, and it's absolutely going to be an interesting clash of styles because these teams do know each other very, very well. You know, both being North American teams, they've played each other a whole heck of a lot. And there's going to be some interesting sort of, you know, mashups here because Counterlogic Gaming are really good at sitting back and really not giving up any mistakes and taking that game late. And if they do have an advantage, I mean, they can snowball that crazily hard. We saw that with Counterlogic Gaming the first day where Doublelift, I think, had like a 5-0-0 Vayne, and they pretty much crushed, I think it was Against All Authority in like 25 minutes, something ludicrous like that. And they just collapsed on so many of those options. At the same time, you know, you've got, actually, I think this was the Against All Authority game where Hotshot sitting there farming, getting both his gold pretends up there on Udyr, and then scaring away an entire team 1 versus 3 as they sort of take across the base. I mean, they have so many sort of different options here available to them where they can run the long game, they can run an aggressive lane, and they can get these hyper carries out there. Curse are honestly a little bit more known for running, not quite gimmicky, it sounds a little bit negative, but running kind of off-the-wall stuff that people aren't really ready for. Like Veigar is normally not this very commonly run solo mid mage champion, but Nightjackie's phenomenal player of Veigar. They've also brought out AP Kog'Maw. Actually, they did run AP Kog'Maw against eHome in the last match of the day yesterday. That actually didn't work for them, so maybe they want to table that strategy for another time, but it's something they have used in the past to some success. And also, I think one of the big stories is going to be that bottom lane of Doublelift Chowster from CLG against Elements and Cop from Curse. And, you know, when we talk about those players, Cop actually has the
playing
highest...
so strong.
Oh, yeah, he's been playing amazingly. He has 2 impressive stats. He has... He is tied for second place for the most kills in the game in a tournament match here at IEM with 14. Scar actually the number one, 16 kills in a single game, but Cop tied for second place with 14. Also has the highest minion kills across IEM so far with almost 1,600. So he's been farming himself quite well. Doublelift, on the other hand, has his own interesting stats, has never played the same character more than once so far at IEM. So we'll see if he doubles up or if he's going to pick another new champion here.
Yeah, that bottom lane has just been so amazing. The picks that they're coming out with, a lot of strong Corkies. We've seen MF throughout the tournament. The Kog'Maw picks as well. Did not work as AP, but we have seen some amazing new Kog'Maw combinations on the bottom that just absolutely roll through the game. It is a really great complementary with the Blood Boil, and then you have Void Ooze just slow and attack and take out the game. Yeah. And we'll have to see how they bring this in. Nijaki obviously playing that hardcore AP mid. We did say that their compositions are a little off sometimes, and not to say off, but different as we were saying. And they definitely bring out the champions you won't believe or won't think they're going to counter with. That Vhagar has the Event Horizon. His stun, pretty much the only stun, not an ultimate, that can stun the entire team. So as a skill, you can pretty much get that in there. I mean, you can pulverize this Alistar, that's not an ultimate, but with the range that Event Horizon has, you can absolutely break up or just initiate a fight whenever you want.
Yeah, and it's a 2.5 second stun at max rank. I think it's the longest non-ultimate stun in the game. And so you've got, you know, a lot of these sort of things out there with that champion specifically, but also, I mean, he's got a wide variety of roles. And now that Curse has added Sidco into the roster, he finally got himself over to Germany. They've run a lot of different things here. Back at Kiev, he was running Vladimir before any of those buffs initially as a solo top champion. He probably also knows a number of bruisers. I know he used to be known for Urgot quite a while ago at the in the solo queue ranked ladder, where he kind of brought Urgot out as this big scary champion, and kind of everyone was suddenly afraid of this guy, and he got banned immediately in all these, you know, solo queue matches and whatnot. So these guys do have a very wide variety of champions available to them. I know even if you date back far enough, Elements was actually playing Mage occasionally for CLG, like at World Cyber Games 2010. They turned around Game 2 against SK by, he's like, hey dude, I'm gonna go solo top Annie, it'll work, trust me on this one. And it did, and so he has that versatile role. Now I think Elements is still gonna stay on support here, but certainly there's a lot of sort of just different options available to these players. We even saw with CLG where Big Fat LP busted out Urgot mid day one against Dignitas, and they came very close to winning that game.
Yeah, it was really good. We've had Big Fat LP taking that TF middle that has not been a really contested pick, but they are giving him that, and it's going to be very big. We've actually seen that if they can take out Curse, we believe that, you know, maybe one of those things that Moscow 5 will not be able to counter, because with Destiny, you're going to be able to figure out where Moscow 5 is all the time. Now, that's at the ultimate, but we'll have to see if they can get to that point. CLG right now have to face off against Curse here as we start the IEM World Championships. These teams are getting themselves ready. They're still discussing what's going on. The picks and bans about to begin, and really the players to look out for CLG, I'm going to say, is Hotshot again. He's been playing amazing top lanes. We were speaking about his Aurelia earlier, a dominating Udyr game that he played just yesterday where he was farming in between the turrets against the Shyvana top without any problem. So he's been a lot of trouble, and Curse Cop definitely one to watch for on Curse. The highest CS so far in the tournament, and absolutely playing stellar. Jumping into the picks and bans, we'll see what these teams can do to counter each other.
Yep, CLG going to be first pick and first ban. And one of the things I think is interesting here, and the instant Vladimir ban, I like that. It's targeted at Sidco there.
Yep.
But one of the things I think is really cool about these teams is they have a dedicated captain who always does the picks and bans. And that's St. Vicious for CLG. It's to be Nijaki here for Curse. And then for solo mid, it's Chaos. And I forget the whole rest of that. But you can see these bans targeted out. The Kog'Maw aimed at either Nijaki or also Cop.
Yep.
The Twisted Fate banned against Big Fat LP. The Nidalee banned out against Hotshot GG. I don't think we've actually seen Nidalee banned against CLG up until now, but they're really afraid of that strategy there, so they're killing a lot of these pokers. And there's the Rise, there's Galio coming out there, so they're all aimed kind of across the board at different players here. Galio aimed at Hotshot as well, so it's Hotshot and Big Fat who are getting targeted here by Curse, and it's basically the mages kind of spread across. And the Instalock Shen, of course, we've seen him picked and banned in, I think, every game so far across both days. Was 15 for 15 in Group A, day one, and I'm pretty sure it's the same here for
He has
Group B.
one loss.
No, he's also actually, I think, 2 or 3 games
2 or
now.
3? Oh,
yeah.
That has to happen towards the end of the day, because up until yesterday, Shen was top contested pick and ban and the highest win rate.
Yeah, he was 3-0 in the first day, but I know Solo Mid lost with him and eHome lost with him, and I think there was one other game that Shen managed to lose. But Nijaki coming up with a Morgana, and Morgana's actually been the #1 picked mage this tournament so far. I think she's in 14 of the 30 games. It's counting. It's not even counting the bans. She's been just straight up picked in half these games. Here's Shyvana, who's also tied for top jungler another 10 games she's been played. And of course, Shen, again, picked and banned every time he's been available. So Kerr's really coming out really strong. We might see Mundo getting grabbed up here, although actually with Shen, now Shen can solo top or jungle, but every time almost every time we've seen him picked by the American teams, they run him as a jungler. Now if Hotshot can run Shen, they can still pick that jungle Mundo, or he might grab Swain or one of his other mages, or he might just take up the Aurelia as we talked about before.
Looks like they are going to go for the Alistar support. Maybe a little bit of roaming there. Oh, Alistar Vayne, very nice. Going for a little bit of CC on that bottom. We'll have to see what they can counter with. And remember, CLG did a fast switch the other day as well, which really caught, I forgot who they were playing off guard. I believe it might have been
They did, I think, like all their games. They probably do it on purpose every single time.
Right. Oh, yeah,
I think they just tried to screw with them.
No, it couldn't have been Dignitas. Different groups. Oh, what?
No, it's the same group. CLG and Dignitas were the same group.
No, you're right. I second guessed it.
No worries. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, it might really be Teemo. They're grabbing Aurelia, which I think is a good choice. Teemo, I mean, could be an AD carry at this point. Once you've got Aurelia locked in there, you know that's a solo top for Sidco. Now I think you're going to be on Morgana, and maybe Teemo's a placeholder. Janna's a good pick there as well. It's a really good support, and I think they're going to pick a very late game carry by this point. Janna is not a kind of champion that's going to bully people away so much. Not with an Alistar there. You're not going to play aggressive, so I think they're going to pick a really farm-heavy, farm-reliant AD carry, and the ones that are like that, I'm thinking potentially Sivir here as a big sort of late-game AD carry choice.
And Janna has been one of those first picks as well, kind of given an ambiguous pick out. You don't really know what to counter, and you're going to be the first one to show really what you're going to be using in your lane. So that Janna pick has been all tournament long as well. There's Chaucer. They may be giving that Udyr to Hotshot GG. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work out unless they decide to switch. St. Vicious, also a very aggressive Udyr, loves flash stunning to get those kills down. And Double Lift to make the last pick, which will give Elements the last counter of the game and the last pick before we get this started.
Yeah, so Ari's going to be the grab here as the pick against Morgana. We've actually seen Ari picked a lot, both by Counter Logic Gaming and Team Solo Mid. CLG going 4-1 in their group is pretty good. I think Big Fat LP is 2-0 on Ari so far. And actually, Big Fat LP, for what it's worth, has the highest kill assist to death ratio in the entire tournament. I think he's 18-1. So for every time he dies, he has 18 kills and assists. It's something like 13, 3, and like 42. Like however the math works out, but he's 18-1 as far as the ratio goes. Pretty ridiculous there. The AD carry going to be the last pick here for Curse, unless they run something crazy and maybe they have like Roam Janna plus some other weird stuff going on. But they're gonna have to pick their AD carry. Remember, Kog'Maw's banned out. Vayne's been grabbed. So we're not quite sure what's going to be.
There's definitely, they want to keep distance on this lane. You don't want to have to get close to either Bush. You don't want to be close to Alistar. It's also going to be a great jungle presence from CLG as well. So it's going to be a tough bottom lane. No matter what, even for their pick here. And they're going to go for Caitlyn. It's going to give them a nice amount of range to stay out of that danger, and they are going to be playing that bottom lane safe, as well as Janna just throwing down the shield, really put out some big damage as well. Vayne's going to have to get in close for anything to happen.
Yeah, so they're really going to want to bully this lane. You look at this here, and you're like, okay, Double Lift always runs cleanse on Vayne, does not want to get CC'd out in between Caitlyn traps and getting dived on, and apparently we're going to have to see what's up with that. It looks like they want to change up the runes real quick, so CLG going to go rehost this game. But you look at the lineups here, and you look at Janna Kate, and Janna Kate is a lane where they really want to bully out the enemy champions, where Caitlyn has 100 range advantage over Vayne, and Vayne doesn't have really good poke tools. She can really only rely on auto attacks. Doesn't have really easily reached hard CC for herself, and so Vayne is a champion that honestly can get bullied around a little bit. And a champion like Alistar works in two different ways, kind of interestingly. So he works really well against really aggressive laners like Corki, Tristana, or Taric, where they really jump at you and go for the kill sort of at your face, and Alistar can push them away. In the other case, though, he actually doesn't heal very well. He's got an AoE heal, but it's not nearly as potent as say, Sona or even Taric or Soraka there. So he doesn't sustain Vayne quite as hard as you would see on someone like those earlier champions. And so by going for a very poke-heavy lane with Janna Caitlyn, you can get those attacks in and deal that damage, and Alistar won't heal it back very quickly, and he still can't disengage because you're hitting from 650 range, and that does make a lot of sense here. So, where I was thinking initially, like, they grabbed Janna, they want that to be sort of a babysit support. No, they're going to go for a very poke-heavy lane, and they're going to try to kill him that way.
Yeah, And, you know, that lane is going to be amazing. The thing they can do with Alistar, however, it's going to be a push lane, as you said, but if Alistar comes out and continuously heals the minions, he can almost deny a little bit of CS if he can get those auto attacks correct off of Curse Cop. And he can also help the lane to push a little bit so they can keep themselves off the tower in a position that they want to.
And we'll see how this pans out. You can see that players are locking in their champions for real this time. We'll be getting into this game in the very near future. So what do you think for all these lanes? I do like this poke comp here that Curse is bringing out. Even though they went 2-3 in their groups to CLG's 4-1 in groups, I do think that Curse has a really good chance at this game, this whole best of 3. And honestly, I do like their bottom lane. I feel like they're going to win lane there, but the rest of it I think is open-ended. What do you think about these lanes?
The lanes themselves, actually, I think the lanes are going to go in favor of CLG, but their composition means we need to get in close, and Janna is exactly the perfect at stopping that. She has dispersed the team, her ultimate Monsoon, throws everybody out, gives healing to her team. That's kind of may hurt Nijaki while he's going for ulties, but for Vayne, double lift to get in, for St. Vicious to be able to utilize all of Udyr's utility, his shield, the stun to get in there, the proc on Phoenix to do a little bit of AoE in the fight and continuously damage, Hotshot GG to get in with Shen's taunt, and they have actually switched that. They're going to be putting Udyr in the jungle. So it's going to be difficult. I think if CLG can get Elements out of the fight first, they'll be all right. But if Elements is still there, they're going to have a really hard time committing to these fights.
Yeah, one thing to point out is CLG has 3 melee here, and 2 of them are, very, very big fighters. With Shen being a lane Shen, he is going to be a damage threat. Normally, your jungler is a little bit less carry status than your solo top, but Shen being that solo top means he will be farming, he will be a big damage dealer, and they do need him to be in these fights. And then Udyr the same way. Udyr just always is a damage guy. He doesn't bring a lot of support like Shen, where he can run in for the dash and just taunt everyone, or pop the ult and get that shield. He's going to be a damage threat as just designed for the character, and so CLG needs to get into melee range to do cool things. Alistar, of course, their support the same way is a melee guy that is very important. And Janna is just a good pick against melee champions. Once they finally got into the fight and used their initiations, bear stance, shadow dash, whatever, Janna can push them all back, reset that fight, shield if someone did get focused, and knock them up with her Q. She can keep melee away very, very often. And it's a little bit scary for CLG to do that. Now, normally they do run a melee solo top on Hotshot, but he still had champions like Swain, and well, Needly was banned, but he still knows a lot of these ranged champions that can sort of be maybe a little bit of a better pick against Janna.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they can do. Those better picks is definitely going to help, and we'll have to see what they can do in just a few seconds, as we are about to jump into the game, and we'll have that for you right after this. So we got some pings already coming out towards the bottom right tri-bush. We are going to have CLG on the blue side, bottom left. Curse is going to be top right purple team. And we're going to have to see what they can do. Looks like Double Lift is going to go bottom. He is going to be guarding the tri-bush. They're going to stop that little cove there for the jungle. He's going to be able to guard those golems. And it looks like all of Curse has sent their team towards the top jungle. They want to guard this red. They do not want to lose it. And CLG has spread themselves out pretty thin across the map. So it looks like they're really just playing defense on this.
Yeah, you can see that Curse really just holding their top jungle. They're fighting against jungle Udyr. Udyr can start blue. He used Vanna just fine with those stance swappings, but also can grab an early red buff and use that for a quick gank with bear stance. So you never know quite what he's going to go for there. Kind of scrolling through these teams, you can see their opening skill and item builds here as we go through the rest of this Curse lineup. As we pop up Morgana, going to see if she kind of ran anything special. Does have that standard 9 magic penetration. We're going to run through that CLG lineup here. St. Vicious, you can see he's gone Phoenix Udyr. That's going to be his playstyle here. We have seen both Tiger and Phoenix Udyr used in this tournament. Double lift, early tumble. You can see no base armor penetration run except for mastery, so just stack in AD there. Big Fat LP is running a couple of actually magic pen glyphs there. It's actually pretty common for these mages to run 2 to 3 magic pen glyphs. Bring themselves up to 10 flat pen at level 1. See Hotshot's Shen, what his build is. Does take some magic pen, so he's going to be just all about the damage with those key strikes and with Whirlpool Blade.
Getting Wraiths to red, and it's going to be blue for St. Vicious since he is a blue-dependent jungler. We'll see if Crumbs is going to come out with an early gank on this one. Nijaki looking low on his lane to make sure they're not leaving or anywhere around blue. Looks like they're going to be pretty safe there. A little bit of warding going down quite early towards the bottom side of that river. And we're going to have Big Fat LP is going to be Ari versus Nijaki's Morgana in middle. Hotshot GG contending top against Sidco. And your bottom lane is going to be Curse Cop on Caitlyn, Elements on Janna. And double lift on Vayne with Chowster supporting on Alistar. So we're going to have to see, as we said before, this Curse lane should be pushing quite hard. They have a lot of extra range to use, and Janna can do a lot at dispersing any fights if Chowster wants to come in for that headbutt combo. And look at this Saint already moving through the jungle, or our rivers.
Yep, Saint already coming across now. Had gotten his blue already, is level 2. Got to run around behind Big Fat LP. The one thing that CLG did, which was really smart, is they gave Chowster both of the initial golem kills, the double golems. You can see the experience here. Chowster already level 2, double lift, not even halfway up there. And because now Chowster has headbutt pulverize. And they knew this lane was going to be very aggressive. They wanted the headbutt and pulverize available on Alistar right away so that he could push them away. Actually, no, I take that back. Level 2 is Triumphant Roar, so going pulverize and Roar for the heal there, wanting to sustain themselves instead of push them away.
Now, I remember a while back when Elements was playing his Alistar for CLG, the roaming Alistar, they would actually get those golems and he would hide in top bush, and then he would go for the quick level 2 as soon as it came out. Looks like Hotshot actually over leveling on Sidco right now, pushing that lane into the tower. However, Sidco on Aurelia, a very good tower, a minion taker, so she will not have too much trouble there. It looks like we could have Crumbs coming out for a little bit of action down towards mid.
Yep, he's looping around now, down towards Ari. Big Fat LP knows to be a little bit afraid here. His lane is pushed pretty high up, and you can see he last hits, and then runs down, checks for if Shyvana's going to come up, and then he's like, nope, Shyvana's not there. Back to CS and I go. And that is such a very smart move that Big Fat LP is doing. He's getting the last hit, and then checking, and then going back up, and that is a phenomenon. But here is actually a jungle invasion. St. Vicious fighting Crumbs, getting him very low. The flash is used. St. Vicious has run away. Now Crumbs is in a little bit of a scary spot. He's going to run away from Big Fat LP, and Alistar's coming by as well. Crumbs needs to be afraid. He turns on Burnout. He might go for an execute. This could be close, though, because Big Fat could always flash into range. Crumbs is trying to get away. Big Fat's still closing the gap. He's got boost of speed, and there's the flash used by Crumbs to get out. The burnout is on. He's still running away. Now, can they chase him in time? We're up to another turret, and that's going to be experience given away to St. Vicious. He's level 4, but they've not jungled, and he's not been in mid, so they got like a good level of XP, but they also lost a lot of minion kills. That might have not been the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, both buffs, however, now taken off of Crumbs. He does not have that. He was just about to lose red as he did take that first, but that blue buff is going to help him get around the jungle a little faster. His cooldown on his skills, and he's not going to have that anymore. As you said, St. Vicious picking up the XP, but not the kill on that. And, you know, all in all, that was an amazing play by Crumbs. He did a ton of damage to St. Vicious, so St. knows he cannot go one-to-one with their jungler right now. And to back off on that for Crumbs to know to execute was very well played. Top, a little bit of damage back and forth. Looks like Hotshot is not winning the damage trade, and Saint's going to help him out here.
Yeah, the lane does push now towards Hotshot's turret, which means here comes St. Vicious up from the back. And there could be an easy shadow dash into bear stance. Sicko trying to juke him out. Will Q to a minion to keep running, and he's still actually built this gap right here, but St. Vicious getting in closer, has Lizard buff as well, and of course Saint doesn't have flash anymore because of the earlier push in from Crumbs. Saint can't do anything about it. A wonderful move by Sidco to juke all that around, using that dash offensively at the very end there. That was quite the nice escape. Still has no ward, and indeed will recall to pick one up. If you look at the gold right now, 6.4 to 6.5, Curse winning by 100 gold right now. Again, that one death did give a bit of experience, but overall, Curse doing a good job of holding this early game. Pretty equivalent right now.
Elements doing a very good job there. Great patience on the ward placement. If he placed it earlier, Saint would have known he was there, but he waited for Saint to go around and tuck himself right into Wraiths, so he could not see the placement. Having a little trouble get back to lane, though, and it's going to give Alistar a good amount of XP over Janna. Not that she quite needs it as much. All she really does is disperse the fight this early in the game and shield up on Curse Cop, so not too bad there for her. We do see Crumbs and Sidco kind of hanging out up top, I believe. They may have taken golems together, or no, they're coming around. Let's see if they can get Hotshot GG interested in some damage here. Curse coming out. Can he get the twin bite on? He cannot, and he is forced to back off. Vorpal Blade attack trying to come on as Hotshot just continuously trying to trade the damage back and forth.
And you can see the pushing back and forth between Cop and Double Lift actually not really going in Cop's favor either. 41 minions to 51. Double Lift, despite having what I believe to be kind of a weaker lane, is actually winning in minion kills. So an excellent job by this team to get themselves into some really good favor here. Chowster just chewing up on these Caitlyn traps.
Hotshot, level 6, and he's getting doubled up again. He may still have that flash. No, he just taunts out of that one. Very nice there. They're not going to be able to take him down. Level 6 first, 2 level 5s, and he will just continue to play pretty aggressive, even though he's chugging down on those pots.
His bottom lane's gonna all the way push to the turret. You see Nijaki actually jumping in onto Big Fat LP, does get the stun, but a lot of damage, and uh-oh, here comes St. Vicious. The turret shoots him again, actually. Could not juke out of the way. Big Fat LP picking up first blood. Bit of an unfortunate dive there, initiated up by Nijaki, and that is not the place you want to be. He's 0-1 in this game in this first quarterfinal here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
St. Vicious popping into the juggle, finds Crumbs, and now he definitely is doing more damage than Crumbs was. If Crumbs can land that EQ, it does a very big amount of damage. If Saint has not turned on that turtle, it looks like they're trading a little bit of the Wraith there. Burnout was able to grab one. Saint's moving back in, becoming a very dominant Udyr. That early kill from Crumbs kind of set him behind a little. And you can see St. Vicious a little bit tankier, got that GP10, and Crumbs still trying to finish even that Madrids.
And Hotshot getting pushed around by Sidco, but still surviving this one. You can see 47 minions to 46, so pretty much equivalent here at the top lane, despite those ganks on both sides. Players pretty equal here, 57 on Caitlyn and 60 on Vayne. They've gotten themselves back close together again. Both players have actually gone back to buy once now. Berserker's Greaves, Doran's Blades, and Vampiric Scepters pretty much all around. Look at the mid lane, and aside from the first blood, it's 57 to 50 in minions, so Nijaki doing a pretty good job against Big Fat LP, but the one unfortunate dive did set them behind. You can see now that Curse are down 500 gold, which is pretty much the entirety of what you're going to get from a first blood there.
Blue has just been given to Big Fat LP, who has a little bit of an upper hand in gold in mid. That blue for CLG is going to spawn about 1310. As it comes back, and it looks like Crumbs is going to be forced to run over here and give Nijaki blue as well, so he can get back into this and not falter at all anymore in lane. Going to get the last hit on this minion. No, the turret taking it out full. He's going to back off to get his blue. Maybe they know that this is happening. Ari is not going to make a move, and it looks like Big Fat's just going to stay mid lane, and he's not going to let that wave push. He's going to do as much damage as he can and try to get all that experience into the tower. Hotshot GG pushed back to his tower as well, trying to get those last hits on. Very nice mechanics with the Vorpal Blade to keep his CS up. That lane right now is 50 to Aurelia's 58, so Hotshot GG keeping it quite close.
Yep, it's definitely pretty close there in the minions. The bot lane still jockeying back and forth for position. The first to level 6 here, Doublelift and Cop, which means they could actually kind of jump aggressively a little bit more as this game goes on. You have the potential to get that snipe out from Caitlyn, or the final hour, the ultimate turned on for Doublelift, and that's going to be all kinds of interesting as well. You can kind of chase in there, get a lot of damage output.
And you can see there really hasn't been any global gold yet, but there are GP5s around the map. St. Vicious and Hotshot both have it, and they have 600 gold difference already in their favor. Hotshot taunting out the bear form still to hit on Sidco. The ignite is on, and his health is just deteriorating, but he flashes out, and it looks like he may live again, turning on his ultimate to get some of that HP back. Another taunt, and it looks like Sidco, valiantly trying to get away, will go down to St. Vicious, and Hotshot GG up top, 2-0 now, 10 minutes hitting that mark in the game. CLG with a bit of a lead.
Yep, they're doing a great job there, and that was the flash finally being up for Udyr there, and that was kind of all they needed to make that one happen. Good job of Hotshot chasing down, and now actually Curse pressuring for Dragon, but oh no, the green ward from across the wall. Good spidey sense there from Chowster. Says, hey, maybe they're trying to do some tricky stuff. They stopped it. But now CLG needs to keep their positioning here, and Hotshot, of course, past level 6, has his ultimate, so he can push this turret all day and just ult into a team fight. And CLG is going to be able to prevent any kind of aggression there. Nice job by them.
Looks like we got another ping on Dragon. They know they've done a little bit of damage. Curse Cop throwing out a Q, trying to get his lane pushed. Shen up top. Hotshot GG not really trying to do too much damage to the tower, letting the minions do that. We've seen a lot of that this tournament. The waves have been completely pushed to the turret, and the lane will back off so they can keep that perfect lane. They're enjoying the CS. They want to take that CS about 18 to 20 minutes and then possibly take the turret, but a lot of these lanes, especially the AD carries, will back off when that full minion wave is hitting the turret. Looks like a very early Oracle's near, not so early, but St. Vicious grabbing that by 11 minutes. Curse is moving down with all 5 here. They have brought Sidco from top, as he did just go down, and before returning there, he will help to get this, and it looks like Saint will actually go for the turret to try to negate the gold here. 190 global gold for Dragon. Saint trying to pick up 150 for his team. Not even contested by CLG there, and Saint won't be able to get it just yet, but it looks like he'll be able to get it before Sidco returns top.
17:25 going to be the Dragon respawn there, so when you see the clocks turn 17 minutes, the team's going to regroup for those buffs, and the thing is, that's going to be pretty close to the blue timer for CLG, the next blue after the next one, basically. It's going to be in a little while, of course, but it's going to be kind of an interesting situation. Hotshot chain pushing top, will get this turret. Looks like he's going to wait back and forth, chooses to just wait for that turret to fall down. There is Sidco, and yeah, he's lost his turret for that. Ultimately, it's not not the worst thing in the world for Curse to lose their turret there. They got the dragon instead, and that's pretty much equal gold, so it's not too bad. And CLG just continue to push up through. For those of you just joining us in the crowd, this is the first quarterfinal match between Curse and Counterlogic Gaming, and this was the second place team from Group A, CLG, the third place from Group B, Curse. Right now you can see CLG 2-0 in the game so far. They've killed a turret as well. Curse have just picked up a dragon for themselves. And so far CLG slightly in the driver's seat, but not enough to definitely determine who's winning just yet.
Big Fat LP against Nijaki Middle. It's 97 to 109. Nijaki falling earlier, but still able to get his CS up. Morgana throwing that Tormented Soil on the caster minions and then cleaning up the melees. A very nice farm ability by her against Ari's Q. Ari has a lot of push to her lane as she farms. And it looks like Sidco throwing on the ultimate on Hotshot, trying to give him a little bit of harass. Hotshot's perfectly fine with taking that. He's going to throw out some Vorpal Blades, sustain himself back. No, he's actually going to back here. Maybe another GP. Looks like he's going to wriggle himself up.
You're going to see what's going to happen here. Nijaki's
Saint.
Yeah, Nijaki getting pushed around quite a lot, actually. He's kind of back to his turret. Sidco sitting there in the minion wave farming. And here, Shen's still waiting in the wings, actually. Hotshot trying to bait something. I'm not quite sure what his plan was there in the brush, because Saint wasn't anywhere near him. It wasn't like he was going to get ganked anytime soon. Right. Looks like he will actually back off and recall now in the brush. Going to pick up some new items for himself. Already has the 1 gold per 10. I don't think he'll go for more. We'll see what his first builds end up being.
Very passive play from this bottom lane so far. They have not done much. And really, oh, there it is. Headbutt combo coming in. Curse Cop, shield on him, and it looks like they will get that third bolt on. The ultimate from Double Lift. Tons of damage coming out there. He dodges a very nice Monsoon, puts Double Lift against the wall, and he's going to try to take a little bit of damage off of Elements. A great job there. Very nice traps by Curse Cop. That extra little distance saved his life, and he was definitely going to get dove under the turret by Double Lift there with the ultimate on, tumble out of that situation, and a great Monsoon by Elements saved that day. Yeah, we'll see Hotshot coming back up top, maybe to harass a little bit, and looks like he's going to invade.
I think he's going to ward up the jungle a little bit. Now that he's killed that first turret, he needs to ward. There's the ward at the red buff. He needs to make sure he's not going to get ganked here by Shyvana. Now, Shyvana, Aurelia, not the best team to chase someone down, but actually, ooh, some bait at the turret here. Crumb's coming in to push away Double Lift. Chouster putting out some good damage with the stuns as well. They're going to keep pushing down. Actually, that's a flash out there from Alistair. Was very afraid of the damage output here. So good move over there from Crumbs to keep their turret alive and to burn the Alistair flash. And Alistair probably the one champion who wants flash the most on this team to get that better positioning for his headbutts and pulverizes.
Again, Big Fat LP returning to lane. Actually, both mid lane now have blues, so they're going to be spamming those spells off. And I believe they're going top. It looks like they're going to go and ward here. No, maybe not. They saw Morgana go top. They wanted to make sure that there wasn't going to be any wards down. Big Fat and Nijaki returning to mid. Aurelia farming up top as Hotshot has not pushed the lane yet. He's playing that lane very carefully here, not just throwing out damage to every minion he can. And that's causing Sidco to have to stay in the jungle, come back up, and get into position for this right here. St. Vicious to come up behind him. And he is going to see. They're going to be able to pinch him on this one. Possibly enough damage coming out. A stun from both of them. Bear form not reaching Sidco, using the mechanics to get away as he has before. And he's going to turn back into this one and dash back through. Very nice job. I do not believe they're going to be able to catch him on this one. No. Yeah, ghosting from Hotshot. That taunt could come in. A little bit extra damage. Udyr does have flash, so Saint known for using that to continue and complete the ganks. They are not going to need it, and the last Phoenix stance hit will equal the kill. Sidco falls again, and that is going to be more assists and kills for top lane as they now focus towards Nijaki. Black Shield saving him from a little bit of that damage, and he's forced to back off. A lot of roaming going on from CLG that Curse needs to stop soon.
And the bottom lane actually, Double Lift pushing in onto Elements and Cop right now. Double Lift doing a lot of damage. Element's still alive. He's going to flash away from Alistair. He's actually alive still. Cop picks up the kill on Double Lift. Now Chouster not in a good place. The Q goes out, and Cop picks up a double kill against Counterlogic Gaming. And that was the comeback that Curse needed right now. Only 1,800 gold the difference now. And beautiful play. Elements down to like 12 health. Dodging those punches, but oh my gosh, more fighting. Crumbs getting 1v3'd in the jungle. Cop's going to come by maybe to help. They do know where these guys are. Net comes out, will not slow. And they're going to jump away from Crumbs, though the Oracles for St. Vicious still going to clear these wards out. And that was all kinds of scary.
Now, I got to say, what a great Zephyr by Elements on bottom to just totally thwart that entire tower dive. It's not something you're expecting, and then Janna hits you with Zephyr, and you're not going anywhere. He took so much turret damage. Curse Cop able to come up with 2 on that and doing what he's been doing all tournament, staying on top as the AD carry for the game. We'll have to see what Big Fat LP, almost getting the charm on Nijaki right under the turret. That would have been straight turret shots that Nijaki would have been tanking, so almost played out there. Very scary play coming from these guys. They're chancing a lot, actually. And it looks like Hotshot down bottom now, leaving that top lane open. As well as Sidco probably going to head bottom too. At this point, he is very strong. You're going to have to follow Hotshot where he goes from his lane, and that kind of hurts Sidco. He hasn't been able to farm as much. He is 97 to Hotshot's 126 right now.
It's a really good advantage. 30 minions is a big deal. Additionally, he has that 1 kill and assist from the 2 successful ganks so far from St. Vicious. And I gotta say, the Udyr pick is a lot better than the Shyvana pick has been so far. You look at this, and I mean, the Udyr is 1-0-1, 104 minions to Shyvana's 97. He's even built up a gold pretend for himself, but there is Curse at the 17.5 minute mark, going again for a dragon, and CLG is just not ready for this. That's warded, and it doesn't matter. 23-50 to the respawn. Now, one thing to point out, though, is CLG actually doesn't value dragon that much. They've said this a number of times that, you know, yeah, dragon's 1,000 gold, but it's not worth losing a team fight over it, because that can snowball a game way more than just 1,000 gold can. However, the local experience from the dragon as well does help these guys, and you can see that despite having a kill up, they're only, you know, 1,000 gold to the lead. Sorry, it's a kill and a turret, but, you know, the dragons kind of equalized that and brought that one pretty close by.
Elements yelling at St. Vicious for clearing an instant put down on a Baron ward. St. Vicious walking around. Very nice job. And then the CLG right there pretty much getting the gold back from the dragon. They just did not contest, so not too big there. But as I said before, Curse definitely has a great late game, and this late game team is going to be quite strong. However, Vayne gets quite hyper carry late. If they can continue to feed Curse Cop like this, and he can continue to play the mechanics he has all weekend, keep that top CS of the tournament, and be that MVP for his team, then they can really come out big on this one. And we'll have to see if they continue to get dragons like that. That's gold that they should not be getting globally.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a case where Caitlyn can out late game Ahri out late game Vayne if he has way more gold than her. But right now Vayne has her Bloodthirster. No bonus attack speed aside from Berserker's Greaves yet. So while a double lift is scary, he's still not going to completely control a fight for himself. But Curse, you know, they've gotten 2 kills on Cop so far. He's kind of the focus of their gold income. He's at 6,000 right now. He is actually ahead of double lift by 300 gold. That's still enough for Vayne to be probably a little bit scarier. But as soon as Infinity Edge is done, Cop's going to be a pretty scary dude. And you look at this build for Udyr, and he's only got, you know, cloth armor. He's going for a Wit's End. He's got Mercury Treads. He's not going to be able to tank that for all that long. And similarly with Hotshot, Hotshot's getting bonus health, but not a lot of armor. He also had Mercury Treads, and so you might see Cop doing some pretty good damage throughout this game.
Looks like we have a little bit of assistance coming in towards mid. Crumbs did not go around the outside. They are going to focus 4 on their blue so they can get it to Nijaki. He is completely on mana. Looks like that's going to help him out quite nicely. Ahri stays in mid, been getting blue all game. Pretty much you look at Big Fat LP and he's had like a constant blue, perma blue, if you will. They are taking it out. Torment Soil going to take down. That is nice for Nijaki. Top lane is kind of returned here, but Sidco is just forced to pretty much expend his mana to get farm off against Hotshot. And against an energy champion, you're not going to be able to trade the amount of damage you want, since he can continuously just throw out those skills, taunt you, and stop you from really using them. And once he knows your cooldowns are up, he'll taunt and just walk away.
Yeah, but Hotshot actually getting that Sunfire Cape now is going to be just continually very, very scary throughout these fights. You can see him burning down these minions with that Sunfire Cape, and it's going to be very, very easy for him to be very tanky and to be a very good damage threat as well. You see Crumbs making his way over towards the top lane to maybe soak up that farm, but St. Vicious nearby as well, and both of them have oracles, so pretty much everyone knows that everyone is blind at that top lane, and that could become scary as well.
No way. They are going for Baron right now. They're going to contest this a little bit. Crumbs does see a ward right there, and they see him on that ward. Will they go for the flash attack? They do not, but I don't believe they knew they were doing Baron. He kind of just saw him coming around the corner after that ward was taken out, and they're still going to go for it. Crumbs, I don't believe his Wriggles should be up for a ward plant, but he's going to go ahead and not plant that. They do have it down to about 75% health right now. St. Vicious continuously going into turtle form. The more he changes stance, the quicker he can do it, and hopefully get this taken down. The Wriggles proc is really helping them out. Shen does not have one himself, but they do have the Sunfire Cape, so that's going to continuously burn on Baron, and they actually have some pretty good damage here. They have traded more than half health of Baron for for Saint's health, so they should be able to take this if they can continuously do damage. And this is going to be very big because it's just going to pop up on double lift and Chowsker bottom lane. They could choose to go aggressive right off the bat, or they can just choose to grab Sidco top.
And there it is, 28-45 in. CLG successfully sneaks out Baron, and you know this is something that they practice. Say, hey man, when I get Sunfire and you get Wit's End, we can totally do this.
That's a good amount of constant
not
damage.
in a good place at this point. He's like, oh my gosh, these are some scary people coming over towards me. Does flash the wall, but so will St. Vicious. This is going to get scary real fast. Bear Stance coming on down, and he's only going to run into Ari if he does run. There is a kill picked up by St. Vicious. Shen still with the assist. CLG up 4-2 and a Baron now. And that's going to be really, really nice for them. And ult comes out from Nijak. He wants to get this kill on Big Fat. The problem is St. Vicious is right there. Nijak, he's got to be afraid. Lands a nice Dark Binding. He's actually just getting tower doped by St. Vicious right now. And, I mean, he could do some good damage here.
If he had a minion wave there to hide behind on that Dark Binding, he could have done some big damage. And actually, to point something out, CLG has not contested 2 dragons, where they pretty much made that gold up right there.
Yeah, pretty much everything back from the 2 turret kills and now this Baron. CLG is in a really good place. And now Big Fat actually diving up on a Nijak. He's going to have to flash away from St. Vicious. St. Vicious will take this turret, does not care too much. Wow, CLG is starting to just really kind of rampage over this game. We saw that with Hot Shots Udyr against All Authority, and now we're just seeing with St. Vicious use it versus Curse.
Indeed. Kurzkopf doing what he can to win his lane, but CLG doing a great job at pushing that in. Vayne's 214 to Kurzkopf's 195, so that Chowsker in the bush has definitely caused them some problems. Looks like top. Hotshot GG gets Zephyred, but they are not going to continue to go on to that fight. Crumbs is quite low and really does not want to risk losing that Oracle, especially at this point in the game. They're starting to shift into that late game phase. There's going to be a lot of wards on the map, and you need to keep your vision up.
It looks like they're just going to still go for the Farm Fest at bottom lane. Cop 2-0 and Double Lift 0-1, but otherwise they're just farming back and forth. 202 minions on Cop, 221 on Double Lift. So again, you know, the Baron gold actually puts that pretty much back to equal, but those 2 kills very relevant as well. You're going to see looks like 7,700 versus 7,400. So yeah, gold advantage actually back up for Double Lift. So he's just scarier than this Caitlyn, just straight up. Big Fat now with his Rylays as well. Looks like he's going to be going for a Spell Vamp next. I mean, already has the Revolver, but going for probably the Will of the Ancients as the next pickup here. Another blue buff comes up. St. Vicious is going to be starting that one. He's very, very tanky now, too. He's got the Randwind's Omen plus that Wit's End. And he's just all kinds of good.
Just got Phage finished down onto Shyvana, so that's going to help out Crumbs a little bit. He will be able to slow with his attacks, allowing Burnout to synergize with that and get a little bit more damage down. We'll have to see Nijaki just clearing waves as Morgana does with that Tormented Soil, trying to keep them off the turret, but they have a 3-strong push in mid. Power and numbers here for CLG as they choose to go either way. They can dip into the jungle, or they can choose to stay and do damage to the turret. It looks like they'll do just that. St. Vicious going to put some big damage on this one. Shyvana coming around to pinch on this, but that will mean the fight is spread, and CLG wants to go that way to exit this fight. This could be bad for them, but it looks like St. Vicious all by himself. Crumbs and Sidco do not feel confident in that fight, and they are going to let St. Vicious clear some wards there. They do take the turret, and Kerr is playing very cautious right now. CLG does have that Baron buff, so they're kind of just running amok right now in lane.
Yeah, they're afraid of the Baron buff. It's only got 30 seconds left on it. Hotshot got a free turret while they were pushing mid as well, so you can see the turret score 5-0 so far. The Dragon is back up. They could take it for free, but they're saying, hey, wait, blue buff, let's take that one first. Deny that from Morgana, from Nijaki, and then, you know, move on from here. Crumbs is doing some ward sweeping real quick, does have Burnout up if he needs it, but so far they're just like, oh, cool. And now the Dragon is up, and CLG will take their first Dragon of the game. First time they've even really tried to go for it at all. And, you know, they said Dragon's overrated, and honestly, by going 0-2 in the first 2 Dragons and still winning, maybe they're right.
Yeah, early that game, the fight focus maybe isn't worth it, because if you do lose that fight, you're all going to be out of your lane. The real big objective in the early game is to stay in your lane, soak up as much XP as possible, keep that sustain, and go back and buy when you're really going to have that upper hand in damage trade, and continue to keep the mechanics of your lane in your favor. St. Vicious heading into the jungle here on bottom side blue. Going to go ahead and clear some wards. He's not really worried about too much. He does see Kurzkopf, though. That Infinity Edge is quite scary, even for new Udyr, and he doesn't really want to mess with that too much. If she can get those procs off, St. Vicious taking quite a bit of damage. Every headshot's going to proc even more. Caitlyn can do some dangerous procs and crits of 1,600 damage, so I don't think St. Vicious wants to deal with that too much, as he is now down below 50% health. That Oracle's probably has enough to buy another one, but it's always nice to keep the current as well as your blue buff. So they're going to have to be very cautious. If power and numbers from Curse into this next fight, they could be able to win it.
Yep, with an 8,000 gold lead right now, CLG definitely looking that they might want to try to win this game pretty soon. And I just kind of keep thinking back to the champion select and how that was going, and the initial ban on Kog'Maw. I think CLG's strategy this whole time. Oh, actually, here comes Doublelift pushing in onto Cop. Pretty much in a 1v3, now getting pushed away. Elements with great ult. Doublelift not in a good place. There's Shyvana as well. He's going to cleanse out. Will drop down. Now, St. Vicious might get chased. The red buff is there, but there are more members of CLG chasing up from the left-hand side. You can see Chowster been revealed by a Caitlyn trap, and Udyr actually still trying to run away from Shyvana, turning back around. They've now found Chowster to the left-hand side, but nope, they're just going to take the kill and be safe. Now, Sidco fighting up against Hotshot, and I don't know if this duel is going to go very well for them.
Yeah.
If they have clairvoyance, he could run away. But
quick rewind for a second. St. Vicious was just in that blue bush. There's a ward there, and Doublelift still decided to flash in the ward's presence over the wall to go for that kill. Very dangerous play there by Doublelift. He's lost all the stacks on his Bloodthirster, and that's really going to give a huge advantage to Curse Cop in these fights.
That's true. It's going to be a pretty big deal. Losing 40 AD is a pretty big deal. It's one of the big things about Bloodthirster is you can kind of reverse snowball the game if you get that kill in the AD carry and then do something with it right away. Now, the Baron's going to be up in the... Oh my gosh, Cop just got found by St. Vicious. This is going to be bad. Elements is still there. It looks like he's going to make it out thanks to the shield. And then Elements saying, hey buddy, I got CC. You really don't want to go for this one.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting move. I think Satan knew that they were recalling and kind of... I think he timed the recalls. It was like, hey, one's gone, and go. And picked up Cop. And that was quite the clever move there.
Looks like Big Fat LP forced to dash off one of his ultis in middle, and there it is going down on the cooldown for Big Fat. He was almost caught by Aurelia there. Sidco got an attack on him. Nyjack, he almost hit a nice Dark Binding, but he decided not to throw it out, especially with Alistar there. They kind of just would have broke up the fight. Cooldowns on waste. We do see Curse now coming out of their base. We're going to see where the money is really going here. Curse Cop almost at 9,000 gold all to himself. But here we are. We have Hotshot GG, almost 10,000 gold all to himself. Just continuously farming his lane. Him and St. Vicious doing great jobs of controlling and dominating top lane against Sidco. Just really not giving him a chance to farm and keeping him back as he goes to do that right now. And we can see Curse just picking up all the resources of their jungle, making sure the buffs are down and preparing for that next fight. Baron now up again.
Yeah, so Baron's up 28.5 minutes, or actually, well, 29 minutes at this point. The Oracle from St. Vicious gets rid of that ward immediately. Kind of expect Elements to say meanie again.
Yeah.
But Crumbs, will run over and will clear the ward for himself. Spots that. There's the attacks. Another turret goes down. Hotshot just chain pushing the side lanes, and he does that every time his team wants to push for Baron because they force that 4v4, and then he can always just ult back in. So this is going to look really, really good for CLG right now. The blue buff getting picked up again for Big Fat LP.
Now they got to be cautious here. They do see Shen bottom, but that's Shen's deal. He is going to ult into his team, and they're going to have a 5-on-5 in just a few seconds. They are both going for Baron here at the 30-minute mark. This is the first contest on Baron. CLG able to grab the first one with Hotshot and just St. Vicious. It looks like they do get Doublelift pressed out of the fight. He will not be able to get the damage down. Curse Cop still alive, throwing down damage from that Bloodthirster. Great job by Big Fat LP to pick up 2 kills on Ahri there. They're now focusing Crumbs on Shyvana as Elements doing what he can to break the fight here. The charm coming from Big Fat LP. St. Vicious to pick up another. And Curse Cop, beautiful job by Hotshot to push him out of the fight after they got Doublelift out. Beautiful job there. Curse Cop was really the only one to be able to do the damage. They pick up that kill finally onto Crumbs. And it looks like Curse able to make it out alive. However, could have stayed in. There's really no risk for him dying, especially with the Infinity Edge. But he just got separated the wrong way. And for them to go for that Baron just because Hotshot was bottom was very dangerous.
Yeah, they wanted to force the fight and say, we can rely on Morgana ultimate, we can rely on your positioning being bad. And they got the kill onto Vayne, onto Doublelift right away. The problem was Big Fat LP started cleaning up. Aurelia got dropped down, and actually what was really cool is as Ahri, Big Fat actually flashed over a Dark Binding from Morgana. I don't know if he intended for that to happen or if it was pure luck, but that would have been a pretty big deal in trying to pick up that kill. If he landed the Dark Binding, they could have added some more damage output there. Aurelia could have landed some basic attacks, but at that point, Big Fat LP pretty much just got a lot of kills for himself and kind of carried the rest of that team fight there because he was the only, super hyper carry that was left on that lineup after Vayne dropped.
Yep. It looks like they're going to go ahead. And I believe they just denied that blue. They went ahead and stole that. Big Fat LP is going to take it.
Yeah, Doublelift actually leaving his red up. Actually wanted to keep that one a little bit. Said, hey, we're gonna go all recall as a team. I'll pick up this red in a second, but I want to keep as much time as possible, or I'm gonna leave it for St. Vicious or Hotshot. And actually looks like that, no, Hotshot's going to go towards bottom, so I'm not quite sure what their plan is with their own Lizard, but it's been up for a while, and Double specifically left it open.
Yeah, Hotshot's actually just going for that bottom lane. He's just going to continuously farm it. He does this a lot with Cho'Gath as well, and he'll actually, and you may see this, get like 4 or 5 people to continuously chase him down the lane. That is something that Hotshot is known for. He's like, yeah, chase me, let's do this. And here we go. We got Shyvana, Caitlyn, and Jenna coming bottom here just for Hotshot, while the rest of CLG is middle. We'll see how they deal with this.
Yeah, but you're going to see actually there's a cute move there. Vayne actually leaving the Lizard buff up as long as possible until they said, okay, we're actually going to go push, grab Lizard and go. They knew their side of the map was safe. They knew they could wait around a little bit and then grab it and then run towards the top lane immediately after that grab. You see the standard basically playbook for CLG. Send Hotshot bottom, everyone else go top.
Yep.
Doesn't even matter if you Shen or not. They just do it anyway.
There we go. You can see how much damage Saint can actually just take here. He only got down to about 80% health there from 5 or 6 shots, which is very nice for them. They feel tanky and confident in the fight. If you second guess yourself in a fight, one wrong click, and you may be out of that one. League of Legends is a game of seconds, especially when you are in that tough fight. And here we are pushing down on this turret. Going to quickly check and see how far that Bloodthirster is back up. He's got about 20 stacks on it right now, so it's not really doing its full potential and keeping himself sustained in the fight. They have a really good turtle team here, though. They are going to be able to clear these minions as soon as they come in. So Curse can definitely bring this into late game, and that's where CLG has to be careful. They are getting the Barons, and they are contesting the Dragons as well, but if they continuously feed these guys CS, they're going to become a very strong team. Morgana, Aurelia, and Caitlyn late game are very scary.
Yeah, and they're really kind of relying on this late game strategy. You can see that Chastra actually picked up a Zeke's Herald, giving his team this Udyr the Shen when he actually team fights, and the Vayne especially some bonus attack speed and lifesteal to get them into this really strong late game auto attack scenario. Saint just chugging through these traps, does not care too much. And Hotshot actually already up to the inhibitor now. They've not been able to shut him down.
No, they haven't. And guys, this is a best of 3, so this is maybe one match here, but we're going to have 2 more possibly as well. Curse right now on their heels as CLG playing a very dominant game, getting some early ganks up top on Sidco, has led to what you see here, a very quick Baron by only Saint and Hotshot. As soon as they got the Wriggles down and the Sunfire Cape, gave them an early Baron with only 2, and the second Baron is well contested, but a team fight win has definitely snowballed this into CLG's favor. They're going to go ahead and tank this turret, not even worried about the traps behind them. Not much that Curse can do about this right now, but kind of clear out the minion waves and try and turtle out. Big Fat taking a little bit of damage. Will they decide to go in? Morgana with the ulti. Nijaki all by himself though, and it looks like they will be able to take this out, throwing down the Randuin's Omen to slow the auto attack and the speed. They continuously go after this one, Freak, but nobody's really taking too much damage.
Yeah, they're pretty much not getting any more kills. They got doubled a little bit early on, but he cleansed out, pushed back, and now he's pretty much safe. Hotshot getting a long-range taunt on a Crumbs. There's the pulverize as well. He is going down, doubled with another kill picked up there. And CLG now going for the second inhibitor kill. Hotshot had already killed the one at bottom, got his way up towards top, pop his ult to get there as well. And they did not lose anyone in that fight. 10 to 4 the kill score, 8, now 9 turrets going down. And CLG looks like they're really ready to take this one out.
Whoa, wow, great charm onto Curse Cop. He was dealing a good bit of damage there. May have stopped that turret attack, but it looks like they're going to be able to go straight for the Nexus here. Curse almost taking out Saint Vicious there. Great dash in by Hotshot to thwart that damage, and it is going to be game 1 here, the IEM Championship semis in favor of CLG.
And CLG going 1-0 in this best of 3, showing the good form they had the first day. They only lost 1 game the entire day. That was the Dignitas, and a very hard-fought match. Now they're up 1-0 in this quarterfinal, and if they take this next game or the one after it, they're going to be fighting Moscow 5 in semifinal, either 1 or 2. I don't know if it's going to be the first or second match of the day tomorrow, but they're poised to make this look pretty easy for them. Honestly, from the very beginning of the game, they got first blood, kind of with Nijaki's over-aggression, but they got the second kill with a great gank from Udyr. They camped top pretty successfully and actually forced a number of deaths on Aurelia. And Aurelia now for the first time going negative in win-to-loss ratio in the tournament. Started out 5-0 in day 1 and apparently not doing so well for the day 2 teams.
Yeah, you know, and Curse playing well right there. It's just a few things here and there that kept ticking against them, putting them on their heels. As you said, that early aggression by Nijaki, middle of the turret, just kind of creeping out an extra inch. He's like, I'm going to snipe you out, giving that kill to Big Fat LP for the first blood. And then we had, before that, though, the execution onto Crumbs. He lost blue and red, which slowed him down in the jungle. That actually leveled Saint Vicious as well, as he was right behind him for the experience, which gave Saint a huge rush to just head top, and they really gave Sidco some trouble.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job there. Yeah, and you're right, they gave Sidco a whole lot of trouble. He had, 8,000 gold. He was actually behind, the other two main carries for his team, Caitlyn and Morgana, both out-farmed him by over 1,000 each. Caitlyn actually at 10K was the richest of her team, but the entire rest of CLG actually broke 11,000 gold. Only Chouster and Alistair was actually below that mark. CLG did a good job. Again, they didn't care so much about the Dragons, but they got the rest of that map, and that two-man Baron attempt was phenomenal. But anyway, guys, we'll be back with Game 2. We have a quick break, and we have more action, so don't go anywhere. At least one more game in this series, and a whole new best of 3 after that.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Right next to me, I have Skara and Boy from Team Dignitas. What's up, guys? Say hello.
Games.
Woo! Okay, right now, the reason why I have them up on stage is because we've got a couple of Team Dignitas fans. Say hello, you guys. And a little while ago, I had them draw some fan signs, and they're meant to be funny. And these two boys are going to be the judges on which was the best fan sign. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and reveal them. First off, introduce yourself.
My name is Ari. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Hanover. And I'm a big Team Dignitas fan.
All right, great. And let's go ahead and reveal the first sign. Can you guys see it?
Oh, that's pretty good. Who's that picture of? Is that Skara?
I'm a cutie pie. He's my boy.
I'm a cutie pie. That's a pretty good depiction.
Yeah, not
I like
bad.
it.
Not bad. All right. Okay, so tell me your name.
My name is Moritz, and I'm 16 years old too.
Okay, great. Now let's reveal your sign.
All right. You got the little G. That's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right, not bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to contestant number 3. What is your name, sweetie?
I am Nick, and I'm 18.
Okay, and let's see your sign.
It will dominate with a pie. That's not bad. I can see it.
I like the pie theme going on. Yeah, it's pretty good.
What do you guys think, audience? Yeah? All right. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, contestant number 4. What is your name?
Hello, I'm Nico and I'm 19 years old.
All right. And your sign?
I like
boy,
it.
Boy.
That's my favorite there. All right.
All right. So there you have it. Those are the 4 fan signs. Audience, who's your favorite contestant? Contestant number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yell it out. Okay, I hear 4, but the ultimate decision is up to Skara and Boy. Who do you guys think has the best sign? They're deliberating. They're deliberating. Here, you guys make some noise for your favorite contestant. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Show up your signs so everyone can see it. They're discussing right now. And of course, these lovely contestants will win a prize. All right. And I think we are ready to announce the winner of the Team Dignitas favorite fan sign. Boy.
All All right, after much deliberation, they were all really amazing. We were down between 1 and 4, and Scar really pushed for 1, so I think we're gonna go with the naked. I'm a cutie pie there. Number 1 it is.
Number 1, congratulations, big round of applause. All right, and you get a t-shirt, but I see that you already have this t-shirt, so I have some beta keys for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. How does that sound? Okay, so you get that. And for my contest, no one comes out a loser, so all of you guys get a beta key. Big round of applause for our contestants.
Everyone wins.
Thank you. And big round of applause for Skara and Boy Boy. Thank you very much, you guys. And we're going to toss it back to our casters for game 2.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the caster booth. David Freak Turley here, joined with Rivington, the third sexiest man in all of broadcasting. True story. Look at that gaze. St. Vicious had a caster tier list. I believe you were the only one in tier 1.
I didn't see that. I did, and yeah.
And the players were actually talking about it actually in the game chat before the game. Before game 1, they all came in, and there was a lot of cool chatter. One of them was, they said, you know, Curse, really good teamwork there. Didn't tell Sidco that you're supposed to go in between the people, like how to get on stage. We actually saw him kind of bump into one of the players. And also they mentioned about, you know, the Rivington So Dreamy and then the first place in the tier list. These guys are actually really good friends, and it's great to actually watch them chat back and forth. This one actually been a little bit more silent this time around, but we have all of Curse actually in the game, ready to go. CLG only Chowster and Double Lift, so their bot lane's on the ball. The rest of them need to get themselves into the game real quick. But otherwise, we've got an excellent game 2 coming up in the very near future. And CLG, they looked dominant that first game.
They played very strong, you know, as we expected. They kind of got a little bit of help from the deaths and the kills that came early. They were kind of just inched out there. Definitely things that weren't supposed to happen. Nijaki got a little too close to the turret, but it was also because St. Vicious was in the right spot. He did a great job in the jungle that game. St. Vicious top, or Hotshot GG top, was keeping his farm up, so he always had a little bit of an advantage, and that helped Saint even more up top. So the composition and the synergy top lane had with the jungle, great job by CLG. It really helped him to stop Sidco from doing anything powerful, and that's what you need to do to Aurelia. It's exactly what Rainman had happened to him yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. They sort of camped that top lane, and like Ocelot said, you know, it wasn't about the player. It was like, you don't let Aurelia get to late game. She's really scary. You don't do it. And so they went and shut her down. And Aurelia is one of those solo tops that has a hard time getting away from ganks like that. You know, and you saw Sidco play really creatively, would sort of run around behind them and then use that Q to get to a minion, then run away that way. Sometimes pair it with a flash as well. But except for basically one time, CLG still caught up, either with ghosting Shen or with flashing Udyr, and they would just kind of chase, pick up that kill, and they shut her down really hard. She went 1 in 5. It was pretty harsh.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They had a lot of control of the game, even with some of the mistakes that they made. You know, we had Double It flashing over the wall, apparent right in front of a ward, and he was taken out, losing all 40 stacks and sustainability on the Bloodthirster. Only built that up to 20, but the tankiness of Shen and Udyr really allowed him to just continuously shoot from behind the defensive line, as your AD carry should. And that one Baron that they contested was just a full-on CLG team right there. They thought Hotshot was bottom, but he's Shen. Stand united, man. He comes into the fight 5-on-5. They perfectly pushed out Curse Cop on that. Was forced. He was the only one that lived out of the fight. Big Fat LP picking up 2 double kill on that Baron rush. So, you know, the whole game went in their favor on every time they could capitalize. So CLG definitely coming out with that first one. Curse, maybe to switch some things up here. You always take something away from that. And towards the end of the game, they were definitely thinking, you know, what can we do next game to prevent that from happening? Should we focus a little bit more with our jungler towards the top lane? Bottom lane was doing pretty fine the whole time. You didn't see either jungler or bottom lane that much at all.
Yeah, absolutely. They really kind of left that lane alone, and despite that pick being you know, what was I think supposed to be a counter lane for Curse, they could not shut down the CS of Vayne. Double Lift got really farmed. He got scared the whole time, and even though throughout, you know, the early and mid game it was like 5-2 in kills, bot lane was like 0-0-0 across the board, except for that one double kill that Cop got. And then even after that double kill, Double Lift still out-farmed him and still got ahead and won that lane, even with that little bit of silly aggression there. And so you got to figure, when you're fed a double kill and still can't win your lane anymore, that's when you know you did a really good job as CLG. And they really did pick for that late game. They banned that Kog'Maw and then picked up Vayne really early and were like, what are you going to pick now? There's no other hyper carries there.
One thing you usually see when you don't have a healer support, you know, Curse had Janna So with Elements there, you don't get any heals, and you usually see a little bit of sustain built first so they can continuously keep themselves in lane, but it was a quick Infinity Edge. So she really was relying on being able to stay alive in general. It's keeping yourself in good position, the mechanics of how Curse was playing, and that really hurt them a little bit because Vayne was able to keep himself in the fight. Double Lift would just shoot a few things, be back up on his HP, and he even had a sustain healer in lane. So it really helped him in the lane a lot, I think.
Yeah, the bullying did not really manifest to very much there. Whether he opened up boots and potions or maybe he got lifesteal quints or not, he really didn't get pushed out. They did a very good job of keeping themselves alive, and their mechanical skill is phenomenal. And I was reading some of the comments. I forget if it was an interview question or just a comment reply about the game, but earlier on in the first day, CLG had ran Janna Vayne in one of their games, and he was saying that when you run a lane like that, you have to be so on the ball because you don't have poke, you don't have any sustain there. You have a really crazy late game for sure, but like to be able to survive a lane with Vayne with a dedicated hardcore healer support, you have to be really, really good. And CLG, they played that lane really, really well.
They did. Keeping Alistar on the bush is sometimes the best thing to do, but he was actually in and out, continuously bumping, continuously trying to, make Janna waste that shield so there wouldn't be the extra damage if Vayne wanted to go in and trade. There wouldn't be all of that. So they did a very good job bottom, as well as you said, getting that too early and giving golems to Elements to allow him to heal that lane and continuously keep them in there.
Yep, and they did, a wonderful job bottom lane. The mid lane, again, it was really close in between the two. Nijaki was actually winning in minions against Big Fat LP. He got a little too aggressive early on, to be fair. He kind of gave away a first blood for free. He really just kind of gave it away. He dove and took too much damage. And as you said, St. Vitus did come around the backside and kind of force his retreat to go sort of near that turret, and he took one extra shot there. But still, that's mostly, honestly, it's Nijaki's fault to die in that situation, and that's going to kind of set his team back. And he didn't really ever pick up the ball afterwards. He didn't seem to get a whole lot of pressure there. And the thing is, with the early Morgana pickup, I forget if Morgana was before or after the Caitlyn choice, but it's like you pick Morgana to half protect a carry, and we kind of saw that with. I think that might have been Dignitas.
Yeah, it was Shen Morgana or Shyvana Morgana.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the things that was supposed to happen there is we saw a Kog'Maw Morgana, and it was Curse against solo mid. It was the first game of the day where basically that Kog'Maw was untouchable because they had a Morgana there, and even if Dragon ulted, she still protected him. But it was a Caitlyn. Caitlyn's already safe. You don't need a Morgana to keep Caitlyn safe, nor do you need Janna to keep Caitlyn safe. I feel like their team comp, okay, they're going for bullying, they're going for winning lanes, going for an early mage pick so they don't get countered, but they didn't seem to have a lot of synergy there. Yeah. Okay, Janna's good against the pretty heavy melee team that CLG likes to run, but as far as positive synergy, there wasn't much of any. And you kind of saw that happen through late game where it didn't really matter who Morgana shielded, it didn't really matter if Janna could ult, it didn't really matter that Caitlyn survived throughout late game because she couldn't burn through Shen and Udyr. That just didn't happen.
Yeah, it couldn't happen. They didn't have enough focus in the fights or enough sustainability to stay in that and do the damage they needed to. You could see multiple times that Saint would just run up, take traps, and take 5 shots from Cop. And he was like, all right, I'm going to pound a few minions with Turtle and get all that back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You put up a Turtle Shell, reduce all the damage there. Alistar could heal once in a while, and of course, he put some points into there, and then, whether it was with Baron Buff or with everything else, and actually now the players do see that they're ready. Curse is ready, CLG is ready. Actually, Crumb's Q dodged real fast. We're going to get him back in the game, and then we'll actually start, but we were in Champions for 2 seconds there, guys. We're about ready to go in the second game. Misclicks as Nijaki, and here we go. Chowser says 2-0. They Q dodged, they forfeited it now. Game 2 of this quarterfinal, the first quarterfinal of the day, about to be going on between Curse and Counterlogic Gaming.
This is going to be a fantastic game. We could have 2 games here. If Curse able to pick it up, they are going to be first ban, first pick on this time. They're going to switch it up. CLG had that role last time, so we'll have to see what they decide to ban out here. Probably going to see that Nidalee again. Twisted Fate against Big Fat LP.
Yeah, again, just immediate ban on the Twisted Fate there. For the first time, we did see Double Lift pick a repeat champion there the second time on Vayne, and that Vayne strategy was really good. And now you can see CLG banning Shen, knowing that Curse's first pick, and Shen's getting a lot of respect here as a sort of first pickable champion, and CLG is just all about that. They're like, of course we're going to first pick Shen. Are you serious? So we're going to see how these bans get slated out, because now that Curse has kind of forced that Shen ban, we're going to see what CLG does about this. Aurelia going to get banned out. Apparently Curse did not like how well Sidco played Aurelia before, so again, Vlad's still getting pushed out there. CLG removing that champion for the second time in this series. We'll see if they do any more repeats here.
We'll have to see Nijaki to post up the last ban for Curse on this one, and it will be towards Hotshot, and Nidalee Sidco may not be feeling very confident about the top lane right now. He did come in, as we said, a little bit late, missed the train. So they did have the German player play for Chris yesterday, who actually did very well. What a grab for them, that 2100 ELO player. And now as Sidco comes in, maybe a little not as warm as he would like to be, or cohesive with the team, kind of getting his champions banned out here, and also feeling not confident against the hotshot lane.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The insta-lock is going to be on Udyr here, so now we do have a couple champions left over. The Galio was banned before and is not banned now, so we'll see if CLG actually wants the Galio or not, but otherwise these bans look very, very similar. I'm trying to think I think Ryze might have been the
yeah, there was a Ryze
ban
in
that was
there
left out,
from CLG.
And I mean, both Nijaki and Big Fat LP are phenomenally good Ryze players. I would not be surprised to see him picked pretty early on in this set.
We'll have to see what they do. These first two picks, and
oh, Zilean, I like that a lot. That's really, really smart. The insta-lock is there on to Dr. Mundo. So we had Shyvana grabbed by Chris before, but Dr. Mundo, and now Zilean in here as well. Big Fat LP, a great Zilean player. We talked about this earlier in the day, where Zilean was a target ban at, I think, Curse, and it was like, yeah, people keep forgetting about Zilean, but he still exists. And apparently someone poked Big Fat and was like, dude, Zilean still exists. And he's like, you're right. It's a great champion. We should play him.
Indeed, he does. He brings a lot of utility to the team. Speed up, slow down, live.
Time bombs.
It's a pretty good one. Time bombs, double time bombs. And that's some of the best things. If you ever played Zilean, you'd love to relate to champions while you're watching them. And you just know, you put that time bomb on and you're like, I'm going to walk this way because he's gone. Doesn't even have to be on the screen. And you put like
sunglasses on with the explosion showing up behind you. You feel really cool, like you're in an action movie. Yeah, pull the David Caruso there.
Completely.
Maybe. Yeah, I like
Scream.
We need some puns for this quick.
Yeah, Nijaki going to grab a little Veigar action, and we're going to see that in middle. We're going to be very awesome. Nijaki's staple champion, if you will, that Veigar play. A very heavy counter to any AP. Your AP is what kills you with Veigar. That ultimate, definitely able to counter a lot of APs. The more you have, the more damage it's going to do. And as an AP, you're forced to build that. So a very good counter there to whatever will be in mid. This still could be a switch to Chauster on support, or not Chauster, Zilean on support rather, and an Olaf. I like that.
Yeah, solo top Olaf is a great choice there. I do like that quite a lot. Just to point out again real quick, the patch we're on right now is the Nautilus patch with the Shen nerf hotfixes, but the Udyr changes from last patch with the buff to Undertow actually not in right now. So FYI, he's sort of picking Udyr in that state prior to the Fiora updates. But the Janna being grabbed there does not surprise me whatsoever. That's going to be, I mean, she can be played AP mid, just as Zilean can be played support, but pretty likely to be support Janna and the AP mid Zilean. Oh no, they're going to switch the Olaf to Swain. I like that actually quite a bit as well. I do like the Swain pickup there. Their team actually pretty heavily ranged now, and you know we did point out that Hotshot does play a pretty mean Swain. Did play that in the first game against Dignitas.
That CLG team right now says you are not getting away.
Yeah, they got a lot of chase, a lot of slow. This Tristana pickup, a much better choice, I think, than the Tristana from earlier. I think, than the Caitlyn from earlier.
Yeah.
Tristana actually has a lot better late game scaling here. Now, you kind of got to figure there's a pretty likely Vayne grab here, I think, from CLG. It seems to just make sense here. You've got a revive there from Zilean. You've got kind of a lot of protection here as well from Janna and whatnot, but we'll see what the support will go for. Alistar Tristana, ooh, that's all kinds of aggressive. That could be very, very interesting here for Curse.
Yeah, we will have to see what they can pick. Vayne obviously still open. Hotshot to pick Caitlyn. They're going to keep the range on this one since Tristana towards late game has the longest range as that bead grows and grows and grows. So she's definitely one to be reckoned with. But wait a minute.
They're just looping around. They're just kind of clicking almost everything.
Yeah, obviously.
Vayne would make sense. Caitlyn would make sense. Just he likes playing Caitlyn. She kind of works in every lane. Now, I don't really, again, like her if you're going to kind of get into a late game scenario. And if they go for a poke comp, it's going to be Ezreal here. Ezreal going to be interesting. He's going to be very, very safe here. We'll be able to get away from Tristana and from Alistar. Can keep poking that brush if Alistar camps in it. So it's a bit of a semi-counter lane there. Also has the AoE attack speed slow against Udyr and Lee Sin, and they do need their attack speed to function well.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
actually
Ezreal,
a great counter AD lane. She jumps, you arcane shift, and she wants to turn on Q for quick shot, and you just use arcane flux.
Yeah, you use that, and honestly, I like a lot of these as well because they've got some cool things going on. So one thing that's going to happen here is whenever, like you said, when Cop jumps in, he can jump out of range, not take the slow. He has the attack speed slow against the double bruiser lineup, which will work very, very successfully. And then you're sort of looking at a really good late game here when, whenever Hotshot moves in to land a root, it's a 2-second long root. It's going to pretty much be a guaranteed hit for the Ezreal ult as well. He's going to be super safe. Obviously, he's going to scale pretty well into late game. Additionally, so I do like this pickup here from CLG. I think their team comp, it makes a lot of sense. And we're going to see also if Ninjack can do much here. Double Lift, again, running Cleanse, does not want to get caught by Event Horizon or by elements in general. And honestly, a Cleanse Flash Ezreal probably not going to die almost ever.
Yeah, these are awesome comps. I'm really excited for this game. Both teams seems like they got compositions that they really want to work with here. CLG's very sticky, but there is also a lot of defense coming out of that Curse side. So maybe they will stay in the fights. Maybe that stickiness won't matter, and they'll just want to be in there for that brawl.
Yeah, and honestly, you think about how this is all going to go down. You've got Udyr Lee Sin, you're going to do consistent damage every second and keep fighting and keep
Double
fighting.
shield if you wish.
Oh yeah, the shields are there as well. They're going to be really hard to kill at the same time. You've got something like Ezra who's going to just put out DPS constantly. He doesn't ever really fall off in the team fight. And then you have Swain who's going to be, just again, very heavy, just all about the DPS. St. Vicious on Dr. Mundo the same way. DPS, DPS, DPS. And then if something goes wrong, they've got a lot of get out of jail free cards. They got the John ult, they got the Zillion ult. If Mundo can make it out, he can ult and get his health all back. They can honestly sustain themselves in really awkward ways. It's only in combat or only based on ultimates, but they can't make that happen. But guys, don't leave it up to me. We have the game actually going to be going underway, so we'll be right back with the actual game 2 of the quarterfinals. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Ninjacky hopping around on Veigar, boots and potions on him. You can see his team kind of milling about, going towards their red right away. Again, they're against a jungle Mundo. And Mundo does like to take red buffs and go where he pleases. So you can see the openings here. Sidco has not chosen his first skill. Pulverize right away on elements. Crumbs additionally waiting here.
So here we are. Let's hear it from you guys. Curse looking to keep themselves in this best out of 3. If you want to hear it for Team Curse, let's hear it for Team Curse if you want to see them take this to another game. And all you CLG fans out there, if you want to see CLG make it to the semifinals on this game, let's hear it for CLG.
More CLG fans here.
And Curse definitely has their work cut out for them, but it looks like they may be getting a little tricky here. They're going to start doing a few things, a little bit of chatter between the players. Great camaraderie here as they're joking around during the jungle invasion and a little bit of back and forth. And it looks like both teams are set and ready.
They're looking aggressive here for CLG, and I like this because they're going for the enemy blue buff. And the thing is, they want to probably give that one to Hotshot GG in mid, or sorry, at top. And that's going to be right there by the blue buff as well. So they have a good sort of potential there to give a really good lane start. Nope, they're going to recall back, and they're actually going to not invade anything. Crumb's going to go pick up some wraiths and go for probably the red buff next. Mundo pretty much following a very similar path here.
Very nice job there. Power and numbers by CLG, playing it very cautious here.
Are going blue. Oh, this is interesting.
Oops, Sidco could get a little vision here, and he does. Hotshot says, hey, they saw me. We're kind of pinched on both sides, but I don't think anybody is below. They do see, oh no, they do not see. They now see that the AD is bottom, so he could feel very comfortable on this. And it looks like Lee Sin will be forced to take those golems, Wraith, and head back for maybe a level 2 gank.
I'm surprised they didn't kill it to Hotshot. It would have been free. They did know they got spotted. But either way, oh wow, Mundo actually already coming up top, has learned Infected Cleaver. And the thing is, Hotshot has that slow right there, and here comes the jump onto Sidco. They've got Exhaust as well. Here comes the damage out, but he's not going to like this. Exhaust traded on both sides. Sidco taking Ignite, now flashing out as well, takes some more damage from Hotshot, but will just recall and be safe. Hotshot still has his flash up. Sidco no summoners for himself. And here's the invasion from Crumbs, and actually, it's not a low hit point, Dr. Mundo. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah,
Crumbs
and
does spot him.
That Exhaust is down. We were discussing this earlier with St. Vicious taking Exhaust and no escape. If you meet him one-on-one in the jungle, he will win. But that Exhaust is down. The Burning Agony is up, though. He gets the slow down. Could he get enough damage in here? You're going to see Zillion starting to turn around. Big Fat trying to come around for the help of the first blood with the red buff on. Could go to Crumbs. Just a little bit outside the range. He puts himself between 2 turrets. St. Vicious still alive. He grabs first blood, though, giving himself a little bit of extra money. Great perseverance by Crumbs.
Yeah, but now Big Fat LP has double buffs in mid lane and a kill to show for it, so this is going to get really, really scary for Nijaki.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see at level 3.
Yeah, you got first blood, that's cool, but double buff mid lane?
Yeah.
Sorry, Veigar, this is going to suck for you.
Bombs all day, and Veigar is going to be very pushed off on this. His ability is to, every time he Qs a minion, just like that, he's going to gain AP and ability power if you haven't played Veigar before. So now that Big Fat LP is just able to bomb on Nijaki all day, he will not be able to get close to his creeps, and Veigar isn't the best at lasting at his tower unless he's using that Dark Manor, so we'll have to see what he can do.
Right now, the cop pushing to the turret right away knows that Dr. Moon are not going to be able to exert a lot of pressure yet. We'll see how Double Lift does at this turret. Got a nice little Janna shield there. Actually, does not have enough AD to actually last hit at turret right now without using Mystic Shot, so that's going to be a little bit nice for Curse right now if they can keep pushing to the turret.
Wow.
They will deny Double Lift a little bit here.
Big Fat looking like he feels confident. He did get level 4, and he does have the buff, so he feels it's all right to leave his lane. He can do without that experience for now, but he kind of headed away from back, didn't see where Sidco was, doesn't want to lose too much experience. He's going to go head back to his lane. Sidco actually double backing there, so he's lost about 2 waves of experience coming in. He's got to be very careful about what goes down from now on.
Yeah, but Nijaki actually harassing onto Big Fat LP a fair amount here. Bombs coming out all the time, though. And Nijaki actually not using his Q to CS minions at all. He's actually only going for the harassment here, trying to push Big Fat out of lane. And yeah, he's got some health potions and he's got some decent MR runes, but no otherwise sustain on Zillion. So Nijaki could do a lot of damage here. Next, here comes Crumbs as well. Big Fat getting a little bit low on health there. He's actually at 230 HP. So Nijaki doing a good job of kind of pushing him around right now.
That was really good damage. I'm sure he feels good about that one. Nijaki needed exactly that catch on Event Horizon and Dark Matter. You can see Big Fat LP trying to chug those potions. He's still got at least 35, I'd say about 40 seconds on those buffs. And we'll see if he can utilize that for a kill in his favor. Hotshot GG leveling to 5 over Sidco top as he has been pushed out of lane a little bit. Sidco halfway to 5. So Big Fat, or Hotshot rather, could put down some damage as he gets under the turret here. Looks like, again, Big Fat LP heading top. He is going to time speed himself faster, that chrono.
Well, this could be very, very bad for you here.
Coming back up with blue, exactly. These buffs are about to wear off, and he wants to get what he can out of them as he starts moving in. The never move going down. Sidco gets caught as his flash is down. They slow him down immensely. The double bomb goes on. Will they continue to finish? The ignite is there, but I don't. Yes, the bomb finally placed on by Big Fat. Did not see that until the last second. A great job by him to utilize those blue buffs right before they wear off, giving Hotshot as well a little bit of gold.
Yep, and he ran right as Veigar beat, and Nijaki was not able to call that MIA. You did see the Udyr run away, but Hotshot flashed even only to land his Q, just to land that little slow. It's only like 20% slow, but it was enough to land Never Move. And they picked up the kill on Udyr. That was a phenomenal little bit of teamwork there by CLG, and they've really come alive in this landing phase so far. They've done a great job to get themselves some early advantages.
St. Vicious taking middle as he's just going to kind of take some of these minions off and almost push his lane a little bit. Big Fat says, I got it, I'm back, get out of here. Yep. And he's going to head back into his jungle. Looks like top lanes are returning as well. We're going to head down bottom, see where the CS is going. 51 on Tristana, and we also have 47, so not too bad. These guys are definitely keeping it close right now. The lane is right in the middle, so bottom lane just kind of chilling out, doing the farm back and forth. No turret has really taken too much damage, and that's something we've pointed out and said before, that those ADs within this tournament, those bottom lanes haven't really been pushing the turret too much. They'll push to the turret, but they'll not do the damage because they want to keep that lane as long as possible. We can see Crumbs setting up here in middle, and St. Vicious looks like he's going to trade off blue to top.
And that would be the right choice. They're actually, they're pushing in towards Curse's blue, and he's pulling Hotshot down as well. Sidco knows about this. Here comes Lee Sin and Veigar. This could get scary if they know what's going on. St. Vicious, 2 levels above Crumbs, though, is a pretty scary place to be.
Yeah, they have great movement right now. Curse rather, knows what's going on. They know there is movement. You can see the ward right outside to the right of mid. They're going to try to pull blue buff a little bit and go for the fight here, actually. They're totally giving it up, and they may grab Sidco once again. He is already too far behind. No, St. Vicious gets taken down, but the ultimate from Big Fat brings him back, and it looks like it's going to be 3 low. Curse members now caught in between CLG. They are continuously flashing out of that one. They may be able to go back and grab the blue here, and great eye by Big Fat to get that ultimate down onto St. Vicious and bring him back.
Excellent play right here. The time bombs go off, and that's going to be Big Fat LP getting a blue buff again. Nijaki not going to be happy with that one, and I like the teamwork there by CLG. Dr. Mundo actually held onto his ultimate until he was revived by Zillion, knowing it was going to get burned down, knowing he was going to get an ignite to the face and all that. Said, okay, well now I'll get all my health back anyway, and that was just like It's just got to be disheartening. You're like, okay, burst, everything.
You know, and that's one thing about a fight. You want to kill the guy, you want to take out the guy. You know he has Zillion buff. You're going to bring him back with more health, or you can kind of wait and see if he'll do something and waste that skill you're waiting for him to waste. So a very great play by them there. And as you said, waiting for that to go off before using his ultimate. Looks like Sidco is going around, getting his wards down, playing a little bit safer now. He only has that GP10 hot shot now, going for that Philo so he can stay in lane. He already has the Ruby and the Sapphire Crystal. We'll have to see, and it looks like Big Fat LP again to just put the pressure on top.
Yeah, we're going to see Hotshot jumping in on Sidco, and he's going to take a lot of pain here. Big Fat, as you said, is coming over. Sidco down to about half health already. The time bombs are on. It's not looking happy for him right now. Turtle Shell, but so does the slow, and he's not going to take any more cues to get out there. Takes the death right there. Big Fat LP now 3-0 so far, and that all started from that tower dive from Crumbs. Ended up getting double buffs and a lot of lane control. And he's been using that quite successfully so far.
You know, that's got to be really frustrating for Sidco because he just placed that ward there to play careful, and Big Fat just decided to come straight through the lane, which was a very good play by him because you can actually see they also have a ward right there that shows that Sidco placed that ward. So Big Fat, if he were to come around, Sidco would have known way earlier, but they were able to pick up that kill due to the mechanics they were playing in that top lane. Curse Cop down bottom, backing out. 86 creep score for him to the 84. So bottom lane continuously farming it back and forth. The Dorans and a BF sword grabbed by Curse Cop.
Yep.
And they're going to return to lane with the same items. Double Lift and Curse just kind of mirroring each other right now.
And that's going to make a lot of sense right here. BF sword and Torrent's Blade. You're absolutely right. Same stuff out there. The mid lane actually pretty equal in minions, but they're actually a lot lower than the rest of the game because they've been playing and running around a whole lot. Big Fat been running out to a lot of ganks. She's going to burst now in Nijak. Get him down to about half health with that second time bomb. Okay, he's got some free MR as well. He's got 40 looks like, but still getting hit pretty hard. And here we go. Crumb's actually pushing in for a dragon attempt. This ward, I don't know if it sees them. It does. They see them go for the dragon. They're going to start moving over. You know they're going to give it up again. CLG just does not care about dragons, so they're going to farm him. Oh, Ezreal goes off. Nope, not going to do much there. Does hurt Crumbs a little bit. Otherwise, Sidco taking some damage from Hotshot, but otherwise doesn't care. He's going gold pretend, though, so he can maybe get himself back into this game if he can get some gold pretend and kind of farm it out through the rest of this one. Gaidak doing the same thing with a Cage's Lucky Pick, so that might work out for him.
Yeah, the gold's still pretty close. Only about a 400 gold difference right now. Even at 3-1, that Dragon really able to help him out. But as we saw before, CLG's neglect on Dragon did not hurt them too much. They were able to take out a Baron and a turret as soon as that happened, kind of really just picking up that gold for the two Dragons that they neglected to take. And Hotshot pushing the lane very hard. We'll see if he actually gets to go damage on the turret. Top lanes have been pushing this tournament, as we have been saying. The bottom lane's not. And there's Hotshot, what he's noted for, farming in between the turrets.
Yep, just wants to get those right away, and basically keeps that minion wave completely pushed up as well. And now he's like, well, maybe they're off the map. No, never mind, he's going to go for it after all. There's the never move, and this is going to be a pretty quick farm for him. And it's kind of nice because there's basically pretty much no chance that the minions would ever stop him from getting his last hit. So
and technically you are doing damage to the turret, so later you'll have an easy 150 if you need it. Maybe you can go up alone and grab it, but he's really not pushing his lane out too much, so he's going to be able to farm. He's winning that lane. You know, why would you want to have to leave it so soon?
Yep, and you see Crumbs pushing out onto his wolves right now, going to get a little bit of golden experience back, but he's only level 7. St. Vish is already 9, so that's quite the advantage there for CLG. They're winning.
A little bit of a gank bottom, nothing going on though. Elements with a nice disperse there. Had to pop his ulti, but we did see Big Fat LP is such a beautiful roaming Zillion in this game. All over the map, taking buffs, grabbing them left and right. I think he's had a blue buff almost all game so far, and that's not very good for Curse. It makes Zillion very scary as well with all the utility. That speed buff to get him across the map. Like you even said, Nijaki backed and Zillion was top in just a few seconds. He didn't have time to call the Mia, so Big Fat playing very well for his team right now.
But here we can see Big Fat moving forward. He's going to take some burst here from Veigar. Down pretty low on health right now. Licks the Q from Crumbs. And he's actually going to go for it. The burst is off. The Zillion ult is used. Now St. Vicious could get picked on. He's using early oracles. Big Fat's ult will time out with only 80 health left. So he's going to get out of there right now. Blue buff will respawn soon, so a good little press there to make sure they can clear out CLG and get their own blue back for themselves. Hotshot will push top. Sidco will regroup there, and here we go. Nijaki gonna go for this pressure here. And it looks like he'll get the blue buff pretty much for free this time. So Curse getting their own blue buff for real this time. This is the first blue that Nijaki has ever possessed in this game, because the first one went over to Zillion after he got that kill on Crumbs.
We can see that St. Vicious, as you called it earlier, buying that early oracles, helping them out quite a bit as Curse is still staying in this game with those wards. They have not lost a turret yet, and they are continuously grabbing the dragons. Like we said, gold is close, only about 1,000 now, but that's becoming from the kills. 3-1 here, 13 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. It looks like St. Vicious going through his jungle, getting all the resources he can. And it looks like Crumbs just finishing up on his jungle, possibly backing jungle builds right now. That Madrid's almost finished, and St. Vicious actually still on the GP10s. We'll see if he finishes any items as he goes back.
See what they do. Zinko's still going to farm up right now. He's got those two. He's catching up a Hotshot a little bit. Look at the gold real quick. Sidco at 2,900. Hotshot at 35, though, so quite the advantage, even despite the gold pretend so far. Big Fat jumping up on Nijaki. Going to trade Qs a little bit, but Big Fat kind of winning that one by a lot. Now Nijaki getting kind of low. He's going to burst again onto Big Fat. Oh my gosh, the Alpha Strike is gigantic. Let's see if they can. Oh, Crumb's going to go for the ult there. Going to push. Big Fat will be back. He's going to flash away. Now, can they get the rest of his damage? Another Q goes off. Yes, that's a kill. Nijaki picks that one up, gets the blue, or already had the blue buff anyway, but gets 5 free AP for the kill there, up to plus 34 in the game. He's not usually using Q to last hit minions, so that 34 is lower than you'd expect it to be, but again, he's not using it for that purpose.
Looks like Saint still pushing top, giving Sidco a little bit of trouble. Bottom lane, still so very patient with each other. Not too much going on. We can see a headbutt there from Elements onto Chowster. A jump in, actually, though. The rocket jump, trying to just do a little damage. Very nice. I guess you can call it an impure shot, putting on that burn from her Buster. Or explosive.
Explosive shot is the one, yeah. But now Double Lift actually winning in minions finally. And that's going to start getting a little bit scarier.
Oh,
we see Crumbs
hot shot.
Never move goes off. Crumbs is there taking a lot of damage from Hotshot. The exhaust goes off, and they're going to chase onto this one. Q and stun, and now Tiger's Dance. Crumbs getting lower than the Hotshot out of mana. Can they do enough damage? Yes, they can, but St. Vicious not coming by, and Sidco could get chased down this way. They've got to be a little bit careful. Crumbs can use E to slow in about 2 seconds when it comes back up. He's going to try to last hit on some minions to get some health back. And then once he can finally do that, looks like they will make their way out. But now it's 3-3, and Curse winning by 200 gold now. Big Fat LP got those 3 kills early on, but the killing spree was now ended. Now he and Hotshot both have Rod of Ages, but the DFG already up for Veigar. This is going to get scary pretty quickly. Curse can do some good things.
For the amount that Sidco has been harassed this game, he is keeping himself in it as much as he can and doing a fantastic job at top as well. He's been focused pretty much all game. We've seen this quite a bit. It looks like top turret may fall to these minions if that wave. Now the wave is going to get there soon enough, so they'll still have that. Nijaki still actually just about to lose that blue in middle. And the ADs have back Tristana, possibly getting a buy on that build. And it looks like the Infinity Edge is going to be early. They did grab the Vampiric Scepter, so she could go either way at this point. But with that Alistar in lane, we said with the Sustainer, usually you'll see the Infinity Edge.
Makes a lot more sense to go Infinity Edge for sure. And we'll see how this goes up. I mean, both actually, Ezreal and Tristana have BF Sword plus Pickaxe, so those both show likely Infinity Edge. Ward goes down, actually. Curse does see CLG here. And this could be a very, very interesting fight very soon. Now, CLG doesn't like Dragon so much. They do like their own Golem, though. Sidco's going to start zoning them out a little bit, and they're actually going to go for the pull right here. Crumbs is in range. Dr. Moon is coming down. The burst on Hotshot is massive.
Wow.
He's already been revived once. Now, can they get the rest here? There's the jump on. The damage output is massive. He will go down right away. Ezreal is perfect. Cop getting lower and lower. They're going to stay on this, so Element's getting hurt. Chowster pushing everyone back. And actually, Curse might be able to run away from this because St. Vicious is going to be scary.
Wow, St. Vicious with the utility from Speed on Zillion. He's also going to be using his ulti. That was just used, so they're going to continuously fight this. Chowster going with the Howling Gale there, putting up a few, not enough damage onto Sidco, though. He's trying to turtle in. He may go down. He is going to go down from that bomb. Actually, St. Vicious getting the last hit on. That is going to be an Event Horizon that slows Saint, and Elements turning around for a second. Could get himself a few more damage, but I don't think anybody else is going to go down in this fight, as there really is not enough focus on just one person.
Yeah, pretty good trade overall, I think. You know, personally, I would lose my jungler in order to, or no, sorry. No, I guess it's good to solo tops there, but again, Hotshot's been more farmed than Sidco, so it's not the end of the world there to sort of get that trade as it was. And again, this late game, I think it looks better for Curse just because they have that gold pretend stat going on. And I think Tristana can just barely out late game Ezreal.
Yeah, those GP10s will definitely matter, especially if they allow Curse to continuously grab these dragons. It looks like they're going to clear this ward and make contest here. St. Vicious, not a lot of HP, and he does have an Oracle, so he's going to play very cautious with that red buff as well. They got a ping on blue that's going to come up. They want to give that to Nijaki as he's coming out of base and hopefully get some control on that mid lane. Still no turrets yet to be taken in this game. A little bit of global gold towards Curse from the dragon. It is back up again, and it is warded, so we'll have to see if there's any movement towards that area.
You have 18 minutes into the game. The blue is back. Hotshot got a turret kill, though. Nice by him. There we go. Nijaki has the blue buff. Using the Qs when he can, because he has blue buff at this point. He can just kind of get some free AP out of that. Both players at top lane have just warded the river. The gank's not going to be too easy to see. St. Vicious does still have his oracles from earlier. And Lee Sin's still not wearing one yet, so that could get a little bit scary.
Bombs going down. Big Fat LP doing a very nice job of staying out of range, just throwing down the bombs and heading back to his turret, knowing it'll clear that Sork wave. And Alti coming down to push Curse Cop off the turret. So that barrage is now down for double lift. Looks like movement towards middle, as they are going to push this quite hard, possibly. No, that was a ping from Big Fat.
The flash,
they did catch
in.
him.
Double's going to lose his ultimate. They're going to go for it again. They've done this over and over. They just break the ult and then they push in again. A great kick there. Big Fat taking a ton of damage. Will go down to Nijaki. Crumbs flashes over the wall. Might get away, but Hotshot is there. No, he jumps to a ward. Crumbs going to dodge the never move. Now can he stay alive? The stun out from Vagar. Oh my gosh, he might make it. Where's the W? Yes. Jumps to Nijaki. Still running away. Here comes Chester. St. Vicious picks up that kill, and now he's going to jump in on Sidco. Nijaki is afraid of Hotshot. Takes a lot of damage there. Can he burst in time? Hotshot taking a stun to the face. Can they do enough damage? He's going to be close. The turret hitting him. They pick up the kill, but he trades back on. But now, Cop jumping in on Chester has been slowed. The shield is on. Can they do enough damage? Tiger stance. Wailing away. Yes, Cop picks up that kill. 7-6. I think they traded 3-2 overall in that battle. Jeez, freaking A.
All right, so that worked out exactly how we said. Within the champion select, CLG, an absolutely sticky team, and they were just able to grab onto Lee Sin and follow him all the way in. But what did we say? If Janna's not there to Monsoon, the melee team of Curse is going to wreak havoc. And as soon as they got within that event horizon, the damage started to go out. They were able to take down 1, 2. They lost Nijaki, but were able to pick up 2 kills. Crumbs went down, and they really started to get their focus down once they were under the turret. Hotshot went down, but you saw the amount of damage once CLG gets too close without their cooldowns, how much they will really take. And they're actually able to grab a dragon off of that one and put themselves in the upper hand after that fight.
Yeah, 2,000 gold lead just gained. It was only about 1K, but they said, hey, you know what? A free dragon, we'll take that. Again, they don't really want a team fight for dragon, but if it's free, they will grab those. And I'm surprised, actually, that CLG had such great map presence after they lost a fight 3-2, but they forced pretty much everyone from Curse to heal, and they just walked over and grabbed that one. The oracles from Mundo really paying dividends here. St. Vicious does have 1 death, but that was only the first blood, so his oracles has not been killed off so far in this game. Nijaki finally, had been getting blue buffs for now, and quick correction to myself, the first blue, of course, was a steal from St. Vicious. So
yeah,
FYI,
which we thought
the blue win.
they would have given, but I guess they gave it to mid.
Yeah, they did the Moscow
Hotshot could have used that top, but it's all worked out for him because Saint came top enough, that wasn't necessary. And Hotshot doing what he does, pushing that lane by himself, going to meet up with Sidco. He's going to try to stay back and just grab these minions as they come down the lane. 2 turrets to be taken now at 20 minutes, 7-6 in this game. It is very much anybody's game still, as Baron has still yet to be contested whatsoever. Sidco still doing a great job of keeping his mind in the game, knowing he needs to ward, still assisting his team in every way possible, even though he's had a tough time top, really keeping the mentality of this game up for his team, and they are really keeping their mentality in it as well.
Yeah, the gold advantage really not enough to matter too much at this point. Nijaki has some kind of free golden AP from the Baleful Strike there. 69 free ability power so far. He's going to get scarier over time. You can see that Big Fat LP making the right choice, grabbing Mercury Treads. Very afraid of the damage output here that Curse is putting up to him.
Good amount of wards down coming out from CLG right now. You can see 1, 2 on either side. Actually, 2 on the top jungle, a few towards the bottom side of the jungle. So they have vision of every entrance and exit if they're going to be quickly ganked within the lanes. However, if they go for the entrance towards Dragon, they may be in a little bit of a trouble once their blue spawns. They're going to get a turret, though. Curse picking up a little extra gold for themselves, bringing that 1K gold differential between the teams.
Yeah, that was actually where all the gold advantage came from for CLG. Is they had those 2 turret kills, even though I think they split dragons equally. Yeah, you can kind of see St. Vicious still roaming around, killing these wards off pretty well. And that's another little minor source of gold. 25 gold every time you pick up one of those.
Oh, a lot of damage coming from those cleavers right now. St. Vicious 13, Elements 10, and the highest right now 14. 14s are in the game. It's got double lift on 14. Saint is 14 as well. Jackie is 14, but he's the only one for Curse right now, and you'll actually see that in a fight come into play very big. You're tankier, you're healthier, and as well as your base stats have already raised a little bit more than whoever you're fighting against, so you're going to have the upper hand.
Yep, we're going to see Hotshot move down towards, I think they know the timer on blue buff. Yes, they do. They've actually pinged towards Baron as well. They've pink warded it, so Curse doesn't have any vision of, actually they do with that ward. They do know that they're kind of nearby, the Oracles of Mundo, and they're actually coming down to steal this Golem away. They need Jackie back here. He's made his way in. Here comes a fight. Hotshot going to take a little bit of burst there, but St. Vicious staying in front and is like, dude, I'm Mundo. I really don't care. Hotshot pushing in as well. Elman's gets stunned. Elman's going to take a lot of damage here if he's not careful. Will pop the ult. St. Vicious going to take a bit of damage here as well. The burst is on. He takes the Zillion ult, but of course Zillion also grabbed, looks like Ezreal grabbed the blue buff there. And so, hey, they'll pop some ults if they get to steal Golem. That's all right. Cooldown of those ults not all that long.
It was a great job by Curse Cop trying to focus St. Vicious with that explosive shot and halving his healing. You saw how much damage he took right after that hit, but he was able to get out. The Zillion ulti is down now. Same as St. Vicious's ult, however, Mundo has a very low cooldown, so if Curse were really to contest this Baron, it would be now with those ultis down. Didn't see too many coming out of the hands of Curse in that fight, so this would be the time to contend.
Zillion's ult actually already back now, so next fight going to be another revive. St. Vicious, only 50 seconds to go, so looking pretty good for them as well. Sonic Wave goes out of Mundo. They know he's there. They just keep hasting him, letting him check brush with those cleavers. Going to be happy with that one.
And both teams are going to back off there. CLG did not like how they were faring as well with those cooldowns, so they are going to wait until they come back up. They do have enough damage to take this right now, having St. Vicious on that double lift with the Infinity Edge into the Zeal. Checking over to see what Curse Cop has. He does as well have an Infinity Edge, but he's only on the Scepter, and he is banking 1,400 right now, so he can grab himself a Zeal if he would like. That's 1195. That'll be nice and easy for him, but they're not going back yet. They really don't want to let this Baron, for any reason, go towards CLG.
Oh, they bait the brush there, but the jump is in. There comes the damage up, but Headbutt Pulver is going kind of everywhere. St. Vicious taking a lot of burst to the front. Again, he's Dr. Mundo. Oh, he gets kicked away, so he goes down first. Nice move there. Bigfoot LP now down to half health. Alistair has fallen, though, and now it's kind of Hotshot GG pushing everyone away. Jackie not having a good time right now. Never move, and stuns all around. Jackie still running away from Hotshot, and he might make it. He took a stun, but he got hasted, and now Ezreal dueling against Cop. It's going to be close. He takes the kill. Oh, my gosh. They trade, actually. Crumbs picks that one up for him, and still Jackie running away, but no, burns down to Hotshot. Looks like 2 kills to 3 kills, though, despite getting the first kill right off the bat. They managed to pick up 3-2 the advantage there. I don't think the double mage plus support can take. Now they're going to go for the turret. Actually, they're going to do enough damage here.
Yeah, they're going to trade off each other on tanks here. It's going to walk back and forth. No, there comes Sidco to save the turret. They may have been able to get that, but really wasn't enough damage. And they're going to go ahead and back off. They have a nice minion wave. They were able to grab that first inhibitor turret, so that is a nice lead for these guys. They're going to have a little bit of vision inside the base now of CLG, and that could really help to spark a Baron within the next few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to have Crumbs clear out these wards, get some nice gold back for himself. Does need it quite a bit here. Hotshot going to recall back as well, and you can see 9-9 the kill score, only 1,200 gold the advantage for CLG, and you're seeing a lot of really cool moves here. You saw the Lee Sin kick St. Vicious away from Zillion, so he could not be revived. You saw how that fight panned out afterwards, though, because Elements took a whole lot of pain afterwards, and that was kind of harsh for him. Actually, they don't even have a Shurelya's on Curse right now, which does hurt them a little bit. That said, neither is there one for CLG, so interestingly, 27 minutes in, still no Shurelya's done, which surprises me quite a bit.
Let's see, both ADs pretty much mirroring each other again. Looks like Tristana going for that last whisper right after. Get that in her hands. We do see the Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge finished on Ezreal. He's going to be something to reckon with as well, especially with the Essence Flux slowing down the attacks. And we actually saw him use that last fight blindly in a bush, hitting Tristana, and I believe one other, and just made them forced out of the fight. We'll have to see what they can do with this push. They are going to go down the outside. They see Crumbs. That Oracle is definitely something they want to get off the map as well. It allows you to keep control. They're going to get a quick pause on here. We're going to be back in just a few. So far, CLG has been really strong in the game. They're not even focusing Dragon as well, but they've been able to just get a lot of kills top lane. They're shutting down somebody in either top, middle, or bottom. Nijaki didn't have blue a lot early, and it was only to Big Fat LP. So Big Fat LP, as we just said, bomb on bomb on bomb, and was able to get Nijaki out of there. But with the help of Crumbs in mid, they started to take that back a little bit. They were able to grab that first turret, and actually mid is now pushed all the way to the inhibitor. So Curse has a really good position on that. Baron right now being focused on by CLG, so we'll have to see after this pause where Curse moves to.
Yep, it looks like they're actually going to be ready to go. Had a quick monitor issue, but now resuming the game, so we're back into this one. CLG camping up right by Baron, which could scare Curse out a little bit. We're going to see how they do that, and actually are going for it. Curse right below, some wards down on both sides. Hotshot leading the charge, taking a lot of burst on the front. Oof, down to 1/3. And actually, he got time bombed by Big Fat, which seems a little bit silly.
Indeed, and it does not look like Vhagar used his ulti on that one. That was only Blameful Strike and his Dark Matter, and there it is again, Blameful Strike, only doing a little bit of damage. Looks like Crumbs is feeling confident, just a ward clear there. I believe he did see one in the back, but he didn't want to put himself in that position to clear it. They both have wards, so hey, we both have vision on that. If you guys want to fight it, we'll fight it too, is what they're saying. And it looks like they have pushed CLG back into their jungle. But we'll have to see here. It's all a focus onto St. Vicious. He is not in range for Zillion ulti. A great Dark Matter absolutely exploding onto Chouster. He had no chance there. Hotshot being focused by Tristana. Jumping in. Curse Cop now puts himself in the middle of the fight. And it looks like CLG will be forced to back here. A great trace by Crumbs up towards the red. Able to drop Hotshot GG, grabbing himself that blue. And it looks like they may have the focus here to push this wave in, get the inhibitor, and back off for Baron.
They don't necessarily have to back off. It's a 5v3 right now. And they have the chance to even go past the inhib. There's a stun. St. Vicious could take some burst there. Takes about a quarter of his health off. Actually, Element's getting crushed in the face right now by Ezreal. Sidco as well. This is actually pretty painful for Curse. St. Vicious wreaking a lot of havoc right now. And Doubles is going to just push in. And oh my god, the damage is going to be so high. Time bombs are on this team as well. Jackie looks like he might fall down. Double have taken some hits from from Cop, but he's not dropping. The ult comes off as well. Double will drop down. The trade goes, but Sidco, I'm kind of afraid for you right now. St. Vicious could be a scary man. And there is Chouster as well. Element's off to the side though. Maybe he can do something for his team, but oh my gosh, no. Saint still just surviving thanks to his ultimate. Crumbs cannot get away there, will fall. They trade 1 for 3 actually in that push. They did get the inhibitor, but they lost 2 kills for that. And honestly, CLG is everyone but Double Lift. That's enough to take Baron if they really want.
Yeah, and they just may. He's going to start at the shield on him. We'll give him some attack damage. He's up to 201 with that Eon, so he is doing some big damage to Baron right now, and he's going to have Burning Agony on as well, ticking around Baron for, it's going to be 100 damage. So that will be nice. Big Fat to come in is going to be able to just throw on that bird. And it looks like they may be able to pick this up without being contested. It does not look like Curse is going to get there in time to even say, hey, we're here. There may be more of us, but not really.
Yeah, they're getting it ever so slowly. Looks like Curse is not going to stop them. You're right about that one. But they did get pretty low doing it. It feels like the kind of thing where Curse maybe could have tried for it. They're going to give blue to Jackie, though. And this is the second time that CLG's now gotten a Baron, pretty much without getting stopped either. So, you know, across game 1 and now game 2, CLG looking pretty right now. 3,000 gold. Actually, no, 2,300 gold, the advantage. And pretty much they were equal before that happened. So they've got the Baron buff map control. But ultimately, you know, all the outer turrets are available. CLG could lose these turrets no problem. And Curse, I think, has the ability to just defend at their own turrets as well. Eventually, Cop will get some real items there. He's got Infinity Edge, the Zeal. Looks like he's going for a pickaxe right now. Actually has enough for the, for the Last Whisper. I think he'll grab that right here. And there is the Last Whisper. He's going to be a lot better against these tanks now. The melee St. Vicious, very, very beefy guy, and he's going to be DPSing that quite a bit.
It looks like Nijaki trying to finish an Abyssal Scepter there. He does have the Deathfire Grasp, about 140 gold, 240 gold off of a Rabadon's for Big Fat right now. So both AP mids pretty well buffed up there. Blue on Nijaki, and they just gave that, I believe, to Hotshot. No, they're around their blue. Nobody's got it. Yep, it went on to Big Fat, actually. Getting that cooldown from his ultimate up, as well as time bombs, and the speed he can give to your team or slow the other team is just such an advantage in a team fight. They're going to go ahead and clear this. Super Minion not even giving them problem there. Moving up to this first turret. Looks like they will be able to take this down. St. Vicious is just going to say, hey, I got tank. And go ahead and face tank that and continue to push on. Looks like Curse is going to trade this with top, though. How far will they push? CLG is going to be able to do a lot of damage here in middle. Not taking too much damage. He's going to be able to get shielded by Chowster. Yeah, Curse is going to lose a lot more than CLG will lose on this one.
Gosh,
and CLG also has a nice minion wave right behind him.
Yeah, but they're going to get all 3 turrets now up to the inhibitor, and they actually stopped Element's recall with the Ezreal ult. That could have been aimed better, honestly, and stopped more of them, but they're up to the inhib now with Baron buff, and it's a 5v4, so I think they're going to get the inhib for this. Oh, wow, Saint having to take the ult right there, and there goes the burst on a double lift down to almost no health, but he's still alive. Now Saint will drop, and the ult actually timed out, so Cop has 1 kill, and now Hotshot taking a lot of damage. The ult did come off from Chowster. They're still going to chase onto this if they can. Minion wave at top going to do some damage, but it looks like it won't pick up much else. Double lift barely surviving that one, thanks to his cleanse. Actually broke away and ignite. Otherwise, he would have dropped out of that one.
A great hold by Curse on that one, especially with a Baron CLG. And they're able to force it back out. They did grab 1 turret, but they lost 3 in that trade, so that's a lot of money going towards CLG. 350 gold globally to the entire team. That's definitely enough for Big Fat's Rabadon. You'll see him build that as soon as he gets back. He actually has 2,100 gold right now, and he's going to be getting himself some nice items. There's the Rabadons, and finishing something else next. Why not? And he's actually going to maybe go for Banshees, possibly a little bit of resistance.
37:20 going to be the Baron timer there. You can see CLG. They have 1 minute left from this Baron timer. For those who are at home, and trying to figure out just some extra pro tips right here. Baron lasts 4 minutes. So when you see your Baron has, 1 quarter, 2 quarters left on it, each of those quarters is a 1 minute left on the timer. And Baron has a 7-minute respawn. So you do the math, 7-minute respawn, 4-minute buff. When you got 1 minute left, you got 1 minute left in the buff, and then another 3 minutes to go. Plus 4 minutes, 37.5 going to be the respawn there. Anytime you're sort of wondering, oh no, when do we get Baron? Look at your buff bar, do the math, tell your team when that Baron's going to respawn, because I'll bet you these teams are going to do a whole lot of fighting at the next Baron, and that's going to be probably the game decider as well.
Yeah, it really will. They've been in each other's base. The base fight always goes in the team that has it there. Both of these teams are very good at turtling, and even with the aggression of Baron buff, CLG was not able to break that turtle of Curse. Same thing here. Curse went in and they took out that inhibitor, tried to go a little bit further, but we just saw Double Lift come out. He's very scary, and you just saw there 500 crit onto Sidco, even through his shield. Kind of makes Sidco question going for that inhibitor again.
If they're going to push in, Saint taking some damage, but here comes the push back on Nijaki and everyone else from Curse. This is scary. The exhaust is on. They're still running away. Elements in the middle taking a lot of pain right now. They're going to burst on a hot shot. They do not do enough damage. He does revive. Elements is dead, and now Sidco taking a lot of pain. Chowster a little bit low as well. The Ezreal ult goes off. More damage coming off. Hot Shot's ult is now down. They could pick up the kill if they want to, but Saint Vicious getting hasted and charging in. Sidco gets the slow onto his backside. Now has some minions in the way. Should be able to dodge these cleavers for a few more seconds. Still running away from Mundo, but they could go for the inhib with no problems at all. They picked up that kill onto Elements. Cop is super low. And oh my gosh, Crumbs actually going to backdoor the inhibitor right now, just as CLG pushes through to mid as well. Looks like Crumbs will pick this one up and ride his super minions in. Double Lift is a very scary guy, though. Crumbs is not going to like this fight. And Double Lift is going to get a good chaser. He wants to ride the super minions in and have them help him fight. But oh, Crumbs just getting caught out there. Does drop down. Nice job there by Hotshot and Double Lift. But they do trade inhibitor successfully, so I think that's going to be worth a death to take that inhib down.
Yeah, it was a very nice job. The entire team kind of got split there for a second, and CLG just went for the base. Crumbs is like, you know what? I can get this down. I may die. I may not be worth that much right now, and he's 3, 4, and 8. I don't know how many of those kills just came up for him consecutively, but what they did there was definitely worth it. Baron comes up in about another 2 minutes, and like you said, Freak, that could turn the tide of this game.
Yeah, whichever team gets that, it's going to be a pretty big deal. You might see that, like with Dignitas versus Fnatic in the first day. A Baron steal, even when you're super far behind, can do all sorts of things to turn this around. Now, CLG are really good at being disciplined around these big buffs. Again, they don't team fight for Dragon very often. They're really good at not giving away Baron. Saint Vicious proclaims he's never missed a smite on land. That said, he has missed them online, so you never know what's going to happen there. Here we go. Actually, Curse playing pretty aggressively here. The Baron buffs have definitely timed out by now. A minute to go for Baron.
Baron very close, about a minute away, and you can see the warding is setting that up for Curse to do Baron. They have wards all across the top side of the jungle. Any way that CLG wants to approach that Baron, Curse will have the upper hand of knowledge of where they're going, how they're focusing their tankiness. It's probably going to be Saint Vicious first, as always, with Zillion right behind for that attack. As you can see, they're formulating in mid here, gathering together for this push. They're trying to clear out the minions, and they're going to push down maybe a little bit towards the minion wave and then go back up. No, he throws the cleaver Lucifer finds a grab on that, a bit of a squeak there. And we're going to see the event horizon going down. The Ezreal ulti comes out. Elements puts himself in the middle of the fight with the ulti on. He will most likely go down before this is over, and Doublelift finds that kill. A 4v5 lead situation leaves Curse on the run as Doublelift will now chase top, and it looks like Sidco will go down in that fight. We do have Nijaki with the dot on from Hotshot GG. Laser Birds is one way to go, and we're going to see that Curse Cop is also forced out of the fight without taking a shot.
Yeah, did not manage to do almost any damage there whatsoever. The team was on the run, and CFH did a great job of just charging in there and saying, hey guys, we're going to start fighting now. If you go for me, we win. If you don't go for me, probably still going to win. And that was kind of the case here. Cop getting pushed on, taking a bit of pain.
Throw the bomb.
Crumbs afraid. Cop dying to the bomb in the fountain. Nice job there, Big Fat LP. Hotshot helping out with the damage there as well. Even the Janna helping out a little bit. And now for the Nexus right now. Crumbs alone against 5. St. is actually getting the revive onto him and just tanking these turrets. Does not carry too much. Crumbs might die to a bomb as well. Yep, the heal is not enough. That is another kill. That's going to be the Nexus. And CLG going to be the third semifinalist here for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here in Hanover, Germany at CeBIT. Now, don't go anywhere. We still have the other quarterfinal today between Against All Authority and SK Gaming, but we see 3 of our 4 final teams. Counterlogic Gaming, Moscow 5, and Team Dignitas. So CLG will fight Moscow 5 tomorrow. Dignitas is going to fight the winner Against All Authority with SK Gaming, which is coming up next.
Indeed, that's going to be an amazing match. And CLG proving to be a very strong team here, and really the kind of the know of IEM here at the World Championship comes from the junglers. Like all weekend long, the jungle has been able to help snowball the games. The counter jungling coming in here from the picks and bans right off the bat. The junglers that aren't necessarily requiring blue, able to give blue to mid early and allow that hyper aggressive mid. All these strategies that are coming out here, just a fantastic game being played. And we also see a lot of focus top. Top champions are something that can really bring the game and turn it around. The Aurelias, the Udyrs, and we just saw Sidco get focused just like Rain Man did in their other games. You don't want that top character to be too tanky, and you saw how much it actually helped Hotshot GG from the get-go.
Yeah, he was winning in minions the entire time. Of course, those kills helped quite a bit as well. You see Sidco score 1, 4, and 6. Even though he got 2 gold pretends and had them the entire game, he was still 3,000 gold behind. Both Cop and Nijaki, the other solos there, only tied Crumbs in gold. And normally junglers do not farm nearly as well as solo tops. You compare to what CLG had, Hotshot GG 11.9 thousand, actually richer than anyone else in the entire Curse lineup. And you see, a couple more 12, 14,000 on the CLG setup here, 8.5 to 7.4 here. You want to compare Chowster to Elements, the 2 supports there. And yeah, you just saw very much a team effort there. CLG did a great job of controlling everything. The kills were back and forth. I love the coordination between Crumbs and Nijaki, where they would just go for the kill, and he would revive, and he'd be like, okay, you revived, great, kick you back into the fight and burst you back down. And they got those kills 3 or 4 times. They actually brought Big Fat LP from 3-0 to 3-2. But then it was smooth sailing from then on for CLG. They would lose a team fight, they would win the next one afterwards and kind of get themselves back up and claw out for those advantages. Then the Baron was the big deal. They got the Baron, and that was pretty much just sealed it every time.
Yeah, they played an amazing game. The bottom lane actually going very slow the entire time, just farming it up back and forth. We, again, didn't really see the jungler go bottom too much. It's all about that top and mid focus. Those single lanes, if they can be won, create very powerful champions in the game, and they really capitalized off that the entire time. St. Vicious doing a great job of continuously helping each lane counter jungling boss and just making sure top could not do anything. We're actually going to hear that though right from the players. We have them on stage right now.
And I'm joined here by the players, obviously Hotshot and Elements. I'll start with you, Elements. We were just talking about it off camera there. The moment in that last game, your 5-man rushed up towards the inhibitor. You thought, okay, we got an open inhibitor. And then they had Baron buff on. It was kind of like,
Yeah. Well, we saw 3 of them didn't, so we thought it was off at that time, but we just killed those players, and we realized Ezreal still had it, and we're like, all right, that's not too good. And Ezreal just like dominated like Udyr because he was so underfed. So that was a lack in judgment, I guess, or lapse rather.
And in the first game, the picks and bans, obviously they managed to get Shen and Udyr in there, and they hurt hard. Was that a case of you were planning to just keep them away from other heroes, or did you just think, we're going to let them have Shen for some reason?
Yeah, I think general consensus was like nothing against Hotshot. We just didn't think he was like a veteran Shen player, so I don't think we were as worried about it. We wouldn't think they would. We thought they'd be throwing it in the jungle, so we weren't as worried about it as a top lane. But then he proved to be like he just dominated top lane. So I guess it happens, right? Oh well.
It does happen. Hotshot, obviously I'm going to go over to you. It's a pretty good victory. It means it's going to be Moscow 5 in the semi-finals. How does that feel to start with?
It feels good. I've always wanted to play against Moscow 5, and everybody else wants to see us play against Moscow 5, so we're going to bring it to them.
They're going to bring it to them. I actually spoke to Alex just off while I was watching the match, and they're like, yeah, CLG is going to take this one. Is there anything in the game that you particularly thought went really well? You executed the plan well?
Our laning phase was pretty damn good. Top got pretty destroyed, mid got destroyed, but after that it started to fall off the map a little bit.
Now, personally, from my point of view, I thought it was CLG tend to farm up quite a lot. Do you think you're going to be able to get away with that against Moscow 5? Because they're like in your face from level 1 onwards.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to change our play style. The second game, Crumbs was really, really aggressive in the jungle. He got first blood on Mundo, and it was just very fortunate that Saint lived there. I mean, till he got to the tower, at least.
And obviously, we've got the next quarterfinal coming up. It's going to be SK versus Against All Authorities. Which way do you think that's going to go?
I honestly don't know. I think they're both pretty evenly matched, but I have to give it to AA because they've been doing well and they have a good track record.
And obviously, Elements, the same question to you. SK versus Against All Authority. Which way do you think?
I have to go with SK. I like the way Oslo plays. I think he's really good AP carrying, and I think he's going to carry his team.
And is there anything that I'd like to say to your fans? Obviously, it's the last game for you guys. Unfortunately for Sidco, he's only turned up and lost 2 matches, which is not the greatest thing in the world. But anything you'd like to say? You got fans out there?
Hopefully we can do a better job at IPL and impress you guys there. Unfortunately, we lost, but we'll keep trying.
And Hotshot, of course, you've got many fans out there. Anything you'd like to say to them after that win?
Yeah, same as before, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. We love League of Legends, all of us, all the players. We want to continue doing this for as long as we can, and we hope you appreciate everything we try to do.
Very good words there. Anyway, this is me, D-Man. We're going to have, obviously, SK versus Against All Authority. That will be coming up shortly. It's going to be myself and Joe Miller be doing that. But for right now, we're going to go back to the casting booth.